On the Block with Jen. I'm your favorite pain in the ass from New York. Although mama's on the West Coast now, okay? I'm New York true, through and blue, okay? You guys know you can reach me on Instagram at OnTheBlockWithJen. You can reach me with an idea on Gmail at OnTheBlockWithJen at Gmail. I'm also on Facebook at On The Block with Jen. It's pretty easy. On The Block with Jen, YouTube, Instagram, Gmail, On The Block with Jen. Okay? Let's get some things out the way really, really quickly. You guys can email me with ideas of subjects that you want to dissect. Tonight's subject is actually a suggestion from a friend of mine, Cedric Kelly. He wanted me to address this video that went viral of a man that was crying in a car. I'm going to play that video for you guys so you know what I'm talking about. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are a new sub, extra welcome. I hope you like what you see here and what you hear and you stay a while. If you haven't already, hit that like, subscribe, and very importantly, that notification bell. There are hundreds of us going live all the time. So if you want to catch me and you don't want to miss me, you have to hit the notification bell along with that subscribe. Por favor. I'm glad to see you guys here on a Friday night. Y'all could be anywhere, but you're chilling with me, and I appreciate that. I really, really do. I love talking to you guys. I love when you guys talk back. Tonight will be an open panel. You know, I'm all for arguing. I'm all for the rebuts. I'm all for the disagreements. I guarantee you will be respected here, and I expect the same. Shout out to my regulars. I want to talk really quickly to a couple of people that know me in these spaces from like last year. A couple of you are continuing to invite me to your live streams and your channels, knowing damn well I no longer deal with a lot of the people that you let cam up. If you're still camming up with the rats and the roaches of you know, the YouTube streets, do not invite me over to your channel. If you're camming up with some old people who claim that they're matriarchs and patriarchs and elders and, you know, wise ones, but they're just with the bullshit like everybody else is, do not invite me to your channel, por favor. I will not go. Stop sending me the link. Stop DMing me. Stop inboxing me. I will not go to your channel. I left all the garbage and the bullshit back last year. That is where it will be. You already know who I get along with and who I don't get along with. Stop inviting me to your channels. I will not be there, okay? Everybody separated. Everybody pick their corners. You stick to your corner. I will stick to mine. No harm, no foul, no love lost, and no love found. But I am not available for your channels or your streams. Please do not invite me over there. You already know who I don't deal with. You know who the Dusties are. Do not invite me over there, okay? Jen is doing her thing over here. Don't invite me over there. Stay over there, okay? So, now that we got that out the way, and the reason why I'm saying that and I'm saying it here is because a lot of people are still inviting me to their channels and they still have the same Dusties rotating on their channels. I don't want anything to do with that. I am dust free, okay? So I'm not going over there. You guys can stop inviting me over there with the rats and the roaches and the bums, and you know who they are, okay? I don't have to say any names. They're well known in the YouTube streets. So welcome, Reese, just being jazzy. I see No Sellout is already protesting the topic. He's like, no, men banned abortion. Tonight, my topic is, are men getting weaker as women get stronger? So I'm not talking about our government. Of course, in our government is disproportionately men and specifically white men. So they're able to put out laws. As you guys know, Roe versus Wade was overturned. So I don't know, you ladies, abortion is going to be a no-no. It's going to be, you know, life-threatening now because women who don't want to have children will find a way not to have those children. Also, men, we can't put this all on the women. Men don't want to have children either. So you can imagine, you know, things are going to go up. Suicide, murder, okay? Because as we know, when men don't want a baby, they go through extreme measures not to have that baby come into the world, just like women do with abortion, right? They abort the baby and they terminate the pregnancy. So that's pretty wild. Roe versus Wade. It seems like we're going back in time with a lot of things. Going back in time, not always in a good way. A lot of it is regression, which is not good for any society, but that is what is happening. So on a lighter note, did anybody see Versus last night? Versus TV, versus. If you've been under a rock and you don't know what Versus is, it is a music competition show where two musicians, two singers battle each other out, kind of, sort of, where they just play their hits, right? They play their discography of all the music they've done. Yesterday, it was Omarion and Mario, and there was just a smorgasbord. I mean, it was ghetto fabulous. It was as ratchet as can be. There were like 50 people on stage. It seems like it was a collection of all the men who could never sing in R&B. It was like an expo. If you are a man who sings R&B and can never sing a note in your life, you were at Versus last night. It was absolutely atrocious. The pre-show was atrocious. I am shocked that that is the best that Timbaland and Swiss Beats can come up with the money that is behind Versus. I am shocked that they had like 20 clowns on stage, all battling each other, all yelling. Ray J was up there with his toddler. It was a hot mess. The pre-show was a hot ass, ratchet, hot garbage mess. It was horrible. It was noisy. It was too many people on fucking stage. Nobody could sing. Everybody was yelling into a microphone. It was chaos. The word nigga was getting thrown around so much. It seemed like a rap battle. It seemed like Smack from back in the day. If you guys know Smack, the rap battles, the roast battles, it was horrible. It was absolutely fucking horrible. It was atrocious. Could have been a lot better. Now, the actual competition between the main event, Mario versus Omarion, was much better than the pre-show, I have to admit. And luckily, I think Mario saved it because Mario actually has vocals. Mario can sing. So that was a good part of the Verses. Omarion was all over the place, but I always thought Omarion to be a dancer. He is a dancer who decided, I'm going to sing. And we have a lot of those in the industry, like Ciara. Ciara's a dancer who decided to whisper sing, what I call a whisper sing. And in this business, if you've ever thought, you're watching me right now and you are a singer, if you ever thought you needed to have vocals to make it in this business, you are gravely mistaken. Fuck the vocal lessons. You can get up there and wail and scream and yell. As we saw yesterday, all them cats, none of them could fucking sing, and they all got record deals. So it's obviously about who you know. Because boy, whoa, ears bleeding last night. But they were all up there in their glory, talking a lot of shit. They couldn't just get through a song. I understand it's like they're trying to make it like a battle, but it was just really ratchet. I hated it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I kept just to be up to date with what was going on. I kept peeking at it while I was stacking my reels. Haran is in the building. What's up? Hi, Little More. Thank you. I appreciate you. My voice is almost all the way back. So Sigma Enigma is already on my topic. He's like, as a man, men today are weaker than ever, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally too. There is no sense of confidence among young men, no self-esteem whatsoever. Okay, guys, so I want to get into my topic, but I want to do a trigger warning. Yes, can you believe I'm caring enough to do a trigger warning? I'm doing a trigger warning because I'm going to be talking about men that are emotionally unstable. And you may be watching me and you may be one of those men. So you may hear things like, people are going to say men are weak. People are going to say men are soft. We're going to talk about suicide. So trigger warning, if you are in a weak space right now, you may not want to watch this, or you may want to watch this now you're prepared for what's going to be said tonight, okay? I am not trying to hurt anybody emotionally more than they already are, but we're going to say some harsh shit tonight. The gloves are coming off. I'm going to really talk about this because there's a thin line, right, between a man should be able to show his emotion and you're a weak bitch, okay? There's a thin line. So I just want you guys to know moving forward, that is how the conversation is going tonight. It's going to be harsh. So trigger warning, you guys, okay? And there's going to be some good stuff said too, okay? So tonight's topic is, are men getting weaker as women get stronger? I spoke about this before, but just touched on it a little bit. As you know, women are sitting in their masculinity and they are winning in their masculinity. With that said, men and women both have feminine and masculine, of course. Your mother was a woman. Your father was a man. Everybody walking the earth has feminine and masculinity. Some of us are spilling over with the masculinity. Some of us are spilling over with the femininity, and some of us have great balance. I don't know who you are. You should know. I don't know. Listen to the people around you. Ask them if you're not sure, right? So turns out now in 2022, and I'm going to bring Haran up in a minute because he explained this really cool last night in my stream last night, if you guys missed it. But he mentioned how this is the first generation of men dealing with women that don't need them, right? But really don't need them. Not just like, I'm a strong woman and I don't need a man. Like, really don't need them because women are making more money. They're more independent. They don't really need men like they used to back in the day. A lot of women are having children without men by choice. I'm not talking about single mothers that are left. I'm talking about women that are going to sperm banks and saying, I want to have a child. I don't want to have anything to do with a man. Women are more sexually free now. They're calling themselves sluts and hoes. And, you know, we have the slut walk and the hoe walk. And, you know, girls are calling each other hoes and sluts and bitches. So it's like, it's a whole different generation where women aren't as coy and shy as they used to be. Before, men used to try to trigger women by calling them bitch, hoe, and slut, but now women are adopting these names and they're taking the trigger out of it, similarly to the word nigga, right? Before, you know, nigga was like a big thing. Now the charge is being taken out of it. And I think Jay-Z himself said the more you say it, the more the trigger is taken out of it. So do with that what you may, but that's what's becoming of the derogatory terms that were once used against women to diminish them. Women are like, no, I am that bitch. No, I am that hoe. No, I am that slut that Amber Rose talked about, right? So the charge is being taken out of it and men are losing their power, right? And women are not giving a fuck like they used to. So women are not seeking marriage like they used to. Same as men. Before, men had all the power because men, it was like you had to strong arm them into marriage. And now women are like, fuck you. I got a job. I got a house. I got a car. I got enough money to take care of my kids. I'm not going to add a motherfucker to that. And I got to wash his dirty ass drawers. I got to cook for him. I got to sex him when I don't want to. Women are no longer giving a fuck. So are men getting left behind? A lot of men, as you know, the way they're striking back at women because they can no longer control them, okay, is bashing them online, specifically in these spaces. They are bashing women relentlessly to no avail because now women are also fighting back online and they don't give a fuck. What else are men doing? They become passport bros. Yesterday's stream on the Block with Jen was all about passport bros. It's basically men that can't afford or don't want to deal with American women. So they're flying out of the country with their $20 and $40 and dealing with women that are poverty stricken, and it'll take them as there is and fake orgasms and fake relationships, long as they get those $20, $40 from those same men. So some of the men are completely running from this. Some of the men are like, I can't deal with these independent women. I can't deal with these stronger women. I'm gonna go deal with those poor broke women in other countries. I'm gonna give them my $20 and I'm gonna get me a little girlfriend experience, right? So are men getting left behind in this society? Are men getting weaker as women get stronger? I've said before, you men better catch up because the things that you used to do to diminish women are no longer working. We have our own money now. We have our own home. We have our own cars. We're raising our children, you know what I mean? Big and strong. So you guys have to catch up. A lot of you don't want to catch up. That's why you're fleeing the country for, you know, $20 prostitutes. A lot of you can't catch up. So the ones that can't leave are online bashing women. So what are you going to do? Are you going to rise up to the occasion, or are you going to crumble and get left behind by these women that are getting stronger? I want to show you an example. One of my friends sent me this video and wanted me to talk about it. It's a man crying. Now, we've gone through phases with men. Men were too strong, you know what I mean? Strong, silent, dark, handsome, right? The less they talked, the more attractive they were. Then we went from that to men should show their emotions. Men are not emotional enough. And now the pendulum has swung all the way to the other side and broken off, and men are crying everywhere. You got Tyrese crying online. What more do you want from me? We got this guy crying in the car I'm about to show you. So now the pendulum has swung to the other side and broken the fuck off, right? So it's like, what are we left with? What are these men being conditioned to be? What is masculinity and manhood going to look like in 10, 20, 30 years if we are conditioning the young boys now that it's like, it's okay to cry all the time. It's okay to be emotional all the time, right? While women are being raised the opposite way. Fuck these dudes, get your own, be independent. You don't need a man. I didn't need a man, etc., etc., etc. We're going to be in 10, 20 years. The gender roles are completely changing and imploding, right? So it seems to me, and you're not going to like this, but it seems to me that women do better with masculinity than men are doing today. Yeah, I said it. It seems like women are thriving more sitting in their masculine self than men are doing sitting in their feminine self. Because remember, now we're conditioning men to be more feminine, not just emotional. Before it was just, hey, show me your emotions. I want to know you care. But now we're flat out saying, hey, show me your tears. Show me you can be feminine. And men are rising up to the occasion. There are tears everywhere from human beings that own penises. So I don't know, what is the balance? Are we going to have balance? How do we have that balance where we don't have these cavemen in our homes, but they get to show their emotion? It's getting scary. So I'm going to show this video, and then I'm going to bring up Haran, because Haran DeMarco, one of our favorites on the Block with Jen, has a lot to say about this subject. And you probably want to hear it in a man's voice, because I said what I had to say, okay? And of course, you guys can rebut, you guys can argue with me, you guys can agree or disagree. I welcome it all. Just don't call me out my name. Don't get crazy, because I will kick your ass through the fucking block uprights and not look back. But I love a good debate. I love a good argument. The panel will be open tonight. Please feel free. I super duper invite the ladies up here, because the men are always willing to come up, okay? So I need my women to sit in their divine masculinity and come up here and battle it out with me or the guys that are here. Yes, off code, they are getting stronger. All right, guys, so I'm going to play this video for you. This video was sent to me by a friend, and he was like, I want you to do this subject. And I said, okay, interesting. And this video went somewhat viral. Maybe some of you guys have already seen it, maybe not. But a couple of people have discussed this video already. So it's getting around. I'm going to play this for you. And you let me know how this makes you feel. Watching this man saying what he's saying and how he's saying it. You let me know. Let me know how this makes you feel. What you think about it either way. Is it funny? Is it sad? Is it serious? Should it be taken seriously? Is it too much? Play this for you.
Y'all, I've had a series of fucking panic attacks at fucking work today. Like, we are not supposed to live like this, y'all. Like, I'm on lunch and I don't want to go fucking back in, y'all. We shouldn't have to struggle so fucking hard and then struggle to operate, struggle to function as a person trying to make it. Like, what the fuck, y'all? And I don't have a solution. Like, I don't know.
Did you guys hear that? Let me know if you heard that. Let me know if you heard it before I continue. Give me a thumbs up or a yes if you heard that. Great. Okay. It went by really, really fast. I'm going to play it one more time. Then I'm going to bring Haran up here. I'm going to drop the link. And anyone else, hey, it's Friday night. Let's do the damn thing. Yeah, all welcome up here tonight. Let's do the damn thing. Y'all here? Let's hang. Let's hang. So I dropped the link. You guys are welcome up. I'm going to play this one more time because it went by really, really fast. But baby boy was in his feelings, right? He was in his feelings. He was like, fuck.
Y'all, I've had a series of fucking panic attacks at fucking work today. Like, we are not supposed to live like this, y'all. Like, I'm on lunch and I don't want to go fucking back in, y'all. We shouldn't have to struggle so fucking hard and then struggle to operate, struggle to function as a person trying to make it. Like, what the fuck, y'all? And I don't have a solution. Like, I don't know.
All right, you guys. So a couple of people are discussing the video. Here's a man who was very emotional, probably tired of his job, probably hates his job. Now, I don't know about you, but I've worked corporate before, and I can tell you many a day, many a morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, many a night at 5 o'clock, getting on that subway in New York City from Midtown all the way back up to the Bronx. I felt like that man many, many, many times, to the point where I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going to quit. I'm going to go chase my dreams, and I'm going to make my money. I can't work for the man no more. I cannot do it. So I can relate to the feeling. I can totally relate to the feeling. But as you know, this isn't something that we would have witnessed so easily back in the day, because men are very, very stoic, and they're told not to cry and suck it up and man up, right? We tell our little boys from the age of 2, as soon as their ears start working, man up, right? Shake them up. Stop crying. Stop acting like a girl, right? That's what we do to boys. And that's how men were usually raised. I've never seen my father cry to this day, okay? The only time I saw my father that I think he was feeling something, I was in the hospital for something. I was doing really, really badly. And my father walked in. And I was like, I know I'm in a bad place, because my father's here. And he's like one of the he's like strong silent. He is the epitome of strong and silent. My father is like emotion shut down. Okay. He is like the Tin Man. He's like a robot. He's not emotional about a lot of stuff. He's like, he doesn't believe in funerals. He doesn't believe in wasting land with plots and corpses. He's like, he thinks cemeteries are a waste of land. Very, very stoic, very strong man. He walks in the room, and there's a man in that motherfucker. Okay. Which is, I've told you guys before, I've come to appreciate my father more and more and more as men get weaker, because I used to think my father was too much. I was like, dude, you're too much. Like, give me a hug. Let's love. Let's be emotional. And now I appreciate my father more and more and more, because what I'm seeing now is honestly repulsive, right? And it's a turnoff, what I'm seeing from a lot of guys. But again, there's a thin line. Because no woman wants to be with a man that's completely vacant. But I don't want to be with a guy who cries every time something goes wrong either. So what are we to do? I'm going to let the gentleman up. I see I have 2 gentlemen backstage. All right, here we go. Necessary Evil says, I've cried being exhausted at work, but never have I felt to go live and have people watch me. That's another great point. Remember that whole men cry in the dark thing? But now men are like, no, I am hurting, and I want everyone to see these tears going down my face. So welcome, Haran DeMarco. How are you, sir?
What's poppin', Jenny?
Hi, you're the only one that calls me Jenny. No one's called me Jenny since like back on the block. So it's so cute. Welcome, Chevy Mill. What's going on? Okay, gentlemen. So what's up, Crispin? All right, guys. So you guys heard my monologue. You heard my explanation for how I'm feeling. I didn't really get into how I feel about.
I'll make my point real quick. I don't know.
Noise in the background.
I think that's a gentleman.
Chef, you got noise in your back.
Huh?
You got
Let me
noise.
step out too for a second.
I got noise.
Yes, okay. No, I think all right. Maybe it was Haran. Okay, so welcome to the panel.
Yeah, I just wanted to be brief. I just wanted to say something real quick.
Your sound is not good. Like,
Really?
do you have? Yeah, you have 2 things on. There's an echo.
Oh yeah. Hold on. What about now?
I think you're better now.
Better now.
No, he's got an echo.
It's still got an echo?
He's got an
Echo.
As a matter of fact, I think I have a time lapse too. Okay,
Really?
something's going on in my end. I don't know if it's just me or both of us.
All right, so both of you just go out and come back in. I don't know why there's an echo. Let me see if it's me. Is it me? No, it's not me. All right, guys. So while the gentlemen come back in, I want to talk about what I feel about the video. I kind of feel like necessary evil. I kind of feel like, man, you're having a bad day at work. It was probably a long shift. You probably have other things weighing on your mind. I don't know this man, but, you know, going live to talk about it so everybody could look at him cry, I don't know. It seems a little more attention seeking, but a lot of people are crying for help on these machines now. These machines are not what they used to be. There are people so emotional on these machines, they're killing their relatives while on live and discussing it with people why they kill their relatives in the background. So it's a whole different world. I personally would not come up crying and tearing, but that's me. I'm not this man, right? But I think before you do that, I think you should really like woosah before making a spectacle of yourself. Just my opinion. All right, let's see if Chevy is back and we can get him to sit up because I think I don't know if he's on his way to sleep or whatever. I need people sitting up. What's up, Haran?
Right, what's good?
All right. Welcome back, guys. There's a, you know what? Here's what I'll do. Chevy, I'll mute you while I talk to Haran and see if that'll fix it. Haran.
What's poppin'?
Yeah, okay. All right, I muted him and there's no echo. So you heard my monologue. You saw the video. You saw the video. Like, again, trigger warning. I don't want to beat up on anybody if you're emotionally unwell right now. You got to say that. I don't want to beat up on anybody. So if you're not feeling emotionally yourself, man, or whatever man is watching me, take a break. Thank you so much, Necessary Evil. Super chat break. Here's a smoothie. Thank you. All right, Haran, what do you think?
I think that as men, we need to return to a time where we're conditioned and taught to display proper crisis management skills.
Okay.
We're not being shown that a lot of times. I'm going to give you an example. If you're in a leadership role, you know, I mean, and you're on the battlefield, and either you're on the actual battlefield or we'll just call it a figurative battlefield, or in the corporate world and so on and so forth. When shit hits the fan, you know, the one in charge is expected not to panic. You know what I mean? That person is supposed to, you know what I mean, be solid, have the answers, make sure that, you know what I mean, everything is where it needs to be, and make sure that everyone stays focused to push forward. Sadly, that's not synonymous with a lot of men nowadays. Whenever crisis hits and so on and so forth, you know what I mean, a lot of men are just taught to like connect with their feelings and connect with their emotions and so on and so forth. I remember I was telling you, Jen, like, now, again, I'm not here to beat up on anybody. You know what I mean? I remember when I was telling you earlier, Jen, I didn't really know guys cried until like I was like 10 or 11 years old. Like I grew up in a Jamaican household. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I saw the women cry and stuff like that, but I didn't. As a matter of fact, I think the first time I saw a man cry, I think it was on TV. I thought it was strange. Yeah, I thought it was strange. I'm like, what the hell's happening? And he was like, oh yeah, you know, I think my mom was like, yeah, well, you know, some men cry. And I'm like, really?
Some men
like,
cry. They're anomalies.
She said some men cry. She said some men cry, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And you know, of course, you know, if you're a child, if you're a boy or whatever, you know, it's expected. Like, you know, sometimes you did, you know what I mean, you have your little emotional moments, but it was expected that when you reach to a certain age, cut that shit out. Now,
Right.
here's the point: is here's my problem with the video.
Okay.
Look, if that dude went to his car and did that in private,
Hmm.
and off the heels of that, he said, "Look, I'm going to get either A, get a better job, or B, um, chase my dreams." That's an example of a person who is, has solid crisis management skills, and someone who will take the reins. That's leadership. When you run into the internet and you drop. He had like a couple of tears in his eyes. He was
No,
dropping
yeah,
it.
no,
He
they
was
were streaming. They were
yeah,
down the neck and everything. Yeah, he was
breathing
crying.
heavy. Yeah, he was breathing heavy and shit like that. And I'm just and he just seemed as if he just felt powerless. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
so instead of looking for a solution, you're looking for a hug. That's not
Is
manhood in my
there
opinion.
is there anything wrong with him looking for a hug?
Well, in public, if you around here looking for a hug instead of looking for answers, I judge you as a man. Yes, I do. You know what I mean? Look, listen, and people might view me as a bit archaic in my thinking. I think that men are supposed to be conditioned to survive in order for women and children to live.
Oh, okay. Well,
You
okay.
you have to you have to be conditioned
Okay.
to survive, like crying and all this other and whatever. You know what I mean? That's the luxury of children and women. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Don't nobody want to hear that from you, man. And especially if I'm dependent on you, if you're my wingman and I'm dependent on you, and you over there and you just bawling your eyes out, and I'm saying to myself like, oh my God, like, come on, we have to keep it together. Now, again, this is not to say that men should not be in tune with themselves and in tune with their emotions, and you're supposed to behave like a tough guy. I'm not saying that, but understand that there's a time and place for everything, and understand that there's ways to handling things. He did not have to handle that situation like that. Now, okay, you didn't cry, you didn't came on cam, you didn't cry, but you did. You put your big ass up and you went back to work to go get abused some more. To go
Exactly.
and you're gonna come back tomorrow and you're gonna go back tomorrow and you're gonna get abused again. You're gonna keep
And
getting
I get paid
abused.
overtime.
And you know what I'm saying? So like, what is it? It sounds like into some type of sick, twisted masochist shit. And maybe that's the case. But my thing is like, I'm not going to complain about something that I'm not going to fix, or I'm not going to intend to, turn around.
Okay, so let me say this. Cedric Kelly, the comment you see here, Cedric Kelly sent me the video. So thank you, Cedric Kelly. Cedric Kelly says, I can understand if you're crying because you can't find a job or can't provide. If you hate it, say fuck that job and do something else. Are we being too harsh? Because looking at it, right? I'm not gonna lie, because the whole movement of this new movement of like, oh, care for everybody, and you don't know what people are going through. It sinks in a little bit now, because as you guys know, I'm very rigid, I'm rough, I'm like my dad, I'm proud, very proud of being like my dad. It's gotten me, through a lot of hell and over a lot of, stumbling blocks, because I'm more like my dad than my mom. So, I'm not gonna lie, 5 years ago, I would have looked at that video and like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, if you're in there pile of mush crying, how can a woman depend on you? 5 years later, with social media and the suicide rate, going up, I'm like, oh my God, it's a cry for help. Like, should we feel bad? Maybe he's going through something. Maybe he does need a hug. Are we being too harsh?
No,
Are we being too
no,
hard
we're
on
not
him?
being too harsh. No, we're not being too harsh, because right now the black family is in a state of critical right now. This is there need to be some foots on necks right now. There really need to be a lot of foots being put on necks, because first of all, look, we can sit here and we can say that, well, you shouldn't be harsh on people, and it's a form of bullying and whatever, what have you. But you know what? Life is going to be harsh on its own, and no one's going to be able to stop that. Life is going to bully you on its own, and no one's going to be able to stop that. And if you're not conditioned to really even understand and how to function in these situations and figure out how to make sure that you come out on the other side, successful, then you're doing that person a disservice. I believe that society, in a well-meaning way of helping men, particularly black men, trying to connect with their humanity, declawed them. In many ways, they declawed them and they neutered them and they made coddling, an actual thing. I've seen far too many situations and relationships with black men and women where the man is behaving like a child. He's behaving like the woman's son. You know what I mean? And
I want my vision back says women say they want a stoic man, but they try so hard to pull the emotions out of one. I love this particular statement because men are simple. I love you guys, but y'all as simple as they come, right? Doesn't take much to keep y'all happy, right? I love y'all, but y'all are simple. So you guys don't understand. Women say they want a stoic man, but they try so hard to pull the emotions out of one. We want our man to be emotional with us. We want to be our man's weakness. It's like Samson and Delilah. But we want you to be tyrants out in the world. Okay, so there is a balance. Tristan, there is a balance. Un momento.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Somebody got that package, you know what I'm saying, from a certain cartel. Oh wait,
Oh snap.
I got my tea for my voice. No packages today, Tristan.
That's what happens when you got a well-balanced person, Jen.
Yes.
You heard the La Jefa in the background. I'm like, oh, here come the package.
Order in the court. Okay, so back to this statement. We don't want to pull the emotion out of you so you could turn into a mush crying in a car about your job. We want you emotional about us. We want to be your weakness, right? That's what women want to see. But that doesn't mean that we want you to be an emotional marshmallow puff out in the world, because that's a turnoff. I talk about balance a lot. And I think sometimes guys have to be, explained to that balance is important. We want that roughneck, but we want that gentleman. It's really no different than when guys say, I want a freak in the sheets and a lady in the streets. Women want the same exact thing, fellas. We want the same exact thing. We don't want you to be an asshole all the time, and we don't want you to be mushy. There's a balance. Unfortunately, a lot of men don't know the balance. So no, we're not just trying to pull emotions out of you so you could be a complete cream puff. We don't want a girlfriend in the house. We just want you weak on us every now and then. That picture.
You want us to basically come back home with a bouquet of flowers after we tore a werewolf to death with our bare hands, basically.
That's it. I mean, but that's it. That's it. Like, come home, rip the panties off, but then next weekend come with a little bag of Victoria's Secret with some new panties. This is easy. It's easier than men think. Really,
that sounded like over $100 a day. I have sisters. That's over $100 a day. Fellas, don't fall for it.
Every day, Tristan,
don't fall for it.
Every now and then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone Church, hey, he's like, we losing so bad. They need the complete, honest truth.
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, we down bad out here. Like, look, listen. Here's the problem.
Haran, they're down bad. Okay.
I mean, well, look, listen.
Leave me out
listen. Collectively speaking, we're still a part of a collective.
I am not.
But
nope.
Their situation still affects all of us.
You see this biracial man on my screen right now? You call me Tiger Woods. I'm biracial.
He's not he's
Call
not
me
he's not
biracial.
biracial. He's Anglo, Saxo,
Okay,
Neo, Nazi,
okay.
whatever was he?
Let's bring it back. Nicole
Right?
Jones says it's the type of crying. Boo-hoo crying, having a full breakdown is suspect. However, getting choked up about his job and saying what he's going to do to make his work life better is another.
Was he
So
saying that he was going to make his work life better? It just sounded like he was crying.
no, right, but she's saying that's the difference. He was just like boo-hoo crying, like saying, the
Right.
reason why I can
Okay.
relate is because I felt like that before. When you look at the
Okay.
state of the world, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like, the rent keeps going up. You motherfuckers want us homeless. You want us dead. The food is going up, the
Absolutely.
gas is going up, the rent is going up. You don't want people to live. You don't want people to live. You want us all to turn into savages and kill each other in the streets. Like everything's
Absolutely.
going up. So I felt that before. It's like, what the fuck are we gonna? We got to keep making more money and making more money, making more money. So I can relate to what he was saying, but he just looks so defeated.
I felt bad.
Can I ask
for
you
him.
something? Can I ask you something? See, now here's the problem. Here's the problem. As a man, I hate to say it, man. When women feel bad for you, that's like an easy way to make sure that all the panties dry up in the goddamn room. When women feel bad for you, man, when they have like pity for you, when you start feeling pity for a dude, like, oh, maybe we're being too hard on him. And once they start saying all that, then you become, what happens? You become a child. They look at you as if you're a child now. Now you're infantilized.
That's true
You
because
know what I
we
mean?
go
You're
into
infantilized.
mother mode.
Exactly. Now you become infantilized. Now imagine a man like that in a home. You know what I mean? She's married to a guy like that. He behaves like that. That relationship quickly turns into resentment because she's like, how did I marry a kid? You know what I mean? I already we already have a kid, or we don't even have a kid yet, and I married a kid.
Revealer 74. I'm gonna play the video one more time for everybody who just came in. And then Tristan, I heard you say you feel bad for him, so I want you to tell me what you feel after I play it again. I'm gonna play it really quickly. It's a quick video, so please listen up.
Y'all, I've had a series of fucking panic attacks at fucking work today. Like, we are not supposed to live like this, y'all. Like, I'm on lunch and I don't want to go fucking back in, y'all. We shouldn't have to struggle so fucking hard and then struggle to operate, struggle to function as a person trying to make it. Like, what the fuck, y'all? And I don't have a solution. Like, I don't know.
I just want to point out one thing that AJ said. He said, I can cry and throw hands immediately after.
Okay.
Exactly.
I mean that hits different. I mean, that does hit different. You know what I mean? You're over there boiling and then you knock somebody out.
I want to hear, because everybody else is like, fuck this nigga, cuz. Tristan said he feels bad. Tristan said he felt bad. Tristan, what's up?
Well, I feel bad because one, everybody has a breaking point. Like you never know when you're gonna hit it, so it just happens, and whether man or female. But the comments that I saw in that particular video, I'm like, this makes it worse. I'm like, imagine you crying your heart out, and people like this, man up, do this, do that. You ain't shit. I'm like, I know I feel like shit. That's why I'm crying in front of the world because I have no outlet. And it's I feel bad for him because of the reaction from everybody else. Like if you're gonna cry, you're gonna cry. I can't stop you from doing that, but people are fucked up. That's the best thing I can say.
This is the
I want
reason
to
why.
respond to Cece. Cece says that's not realistic though. Men aren't balanced. I know men aren't balanced. I'm just giving advice to make your life better. I know men aren't balanced, but I'm saying it's a good tip if you want to keep putting your tip.
Wait. I'm balanced. I'm a balanced individual.
He said women want us to flip a switch. It doesn't work like that. No,
No, it does though.
women and men don't have a fucking switch, but you know that the women that stay in your mind the most are the ones that had balance, right? So men are capable of balance. It's not like you're incapable of balance. You're capable of balance, but it's work, and most people are lazy, right? Most people just want to be in a relationship, and it's like you get what I give. But if you want a really good, exciting relationship, you have to practice balance. It's a conditioning. No one's born with balance. You have to have balance to stay interesting to your partner. Just my advice. If you don't want to flip that switch on your back, that's okay too. Welcome, Ruled by Venus. Ruled by Venus, what say you?
Jen, hi, I caught you live. I haven't caught you in a minute. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you.
You look good. Okay, so I just kind of walked in and I saw your title and I wanted to answer, and now I saw the video. So first I want to say I can identify with how he feels. um Especially like you said, like with everything prices going up, I can identify with a person feeling like they are trying their best and being stuck in a situation and feeling like they don't have a choice. So I understand his emotion. I do not understand what prompted you to take your camera out and record yourself. I don't understand that. So in a way I feel bad for you, but then I don't, because it's like y'all do anything to do this attention seeking and then you look stupid. Like, you should have been like every other man who maybe when he needs a good cry, he goes and cries in quiet or in front of people he trusts. But I don't understand wanting to the world to see. Like, what is that going to do for you? So I
Um,
don't really get that.
to add to that, Henry says, "Nah, dude's been breaking down. Today's social media allows people to show their ugly." I spoke about this a little while ago before. Are we underestimating what social media has morphed into? Because I said before, people are now committing crimes and they're camming up. They're going live and killing their spouse. They're killing their children live. Are we underestimating that this is the new world order and these people need these audiences and they're bringing these audiences into their world now? So now it's nothing for people to like, I feel like crying, I'm a cam up. Is this the new world order? Are we going to see more and more of this?
Yeah,
You
but it's all
as you,
performative. It's all performative.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, as you said that, you know what I thought about, and it made me feel bad again. I'm having like mixed emotions, because now I think for someone to feel the need to do that is because maybe they feel so unheard and so alone that they are looking for that somewhere. So it may look crazy to some of us, like, why are you crying to strangers? But I've heard people say to me like, well, I don't have anyone to talk to, or I don't have anyone to, you know what I mean? So maybe for them it's therapeutic. So you might be right. Maybe that is the new way for people to express themselves or try to connect. But I genuinely do feel bad for him. I understand his position. I just don't know what crying to us is going to do for him.
Sigma is absolutely on point. I mean, he's sitting there. He has no solutions. He hasn't really sat there and thought about the problem, because at the end of the day, okay, you're on live or whatever. You posted this video, but you're going to go right back into this hellhole, and then you're going to come back tomorrow. So what did you really do? Did you just need to blow off steam and create this world where you feel, what I mean, coddled, and you feel, you needed some sort of safe space? Or are you really trying to change your life? What I mean, you can change your life. I don't subscribe to any thinking where you can't change your life. Now you might have to change it into something you don't like. You know what I mean? But you can change your life.
He represents to me the type of man who definitely does not have a lot of masculine energy around him. He doesn't have any real male leadership around him. And that's just obvious because he wouldn't carry himself like that. Because again, nothing's wrong with the emotion, but you would have some type of pride about yourself and you wouldn't do certain things.
I'm glad you said that, because that's another point that I wanted to tell Jen about. I don't think that I don't think a lot of men hold on to pride these days. I think that pride has been vilified. I think that, yeah, I think there isn't. I don't think there's a problem with being stoic. I think there's a like, what I mean. I think a man should have a degree of pride and dignity where he says, "I'm not going to do this." I'm not gonna break. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go forward. Now you can have a group of partners where you sit down, you guys air out your grievances with each other, your own particular war council, and so on. I'm a big advocate of that. You know what I mean? Or if you maybe want to seek therapy, whichever that is. But when you think that your only solution to your problems as a man is to run out into the world and behave like an infant and a scared child, and you think that there's some sort of respect on the other side of that, I think that's where the problem lies.
So
And
what
can
do you
I just
think
answer
about?
the question, Jen? I'm sorry. Go
No, no,
ahead.
go ahead.
The answer is yes. Overall, I do believe men are getting weaker and women are getting stronger. It's very obvious if we just look at the last 2 years about what's been going on over the internet. The things that men are hyper focused on are not productive, right? Like if you sit around talking about people's weight and their hair and their nails and whatever the hell else, that is all that time you're spending doing that is time you're not spending figuring out how you can build your portfolio, how you can raise your income, how you can take care of your family. Like, I feel like a lot of the energy and attention goes into the wrong things. And I can't say this for sure, but I feel like those are the same types who are crying about, oh, my life. Oh, I don't know what to do with myself. Yeah, because you're doing all the shit you should not be doing in the first place. And I also feel like people in his position, I saw somebody make a comment like, "Oh, it's not the snap of a finger," but here's what you do have: you have access to the internet. You can do research and figure out what routes to take to change your career. If there's some type of grants you might qualify for, you have access to people who are in positions that you want to be in. Who, if you just went up and talked to them, they might give you some advice. So I don't like to see grown ass men act like, "Oh my God, I don't know what to do." Like, what? Like, no. Now I'm getting mad. Now I don't feel sorry for him again. Like, I'm going through mixed emotions because I feel like I do empathize, but it's like, sir, you're grown. Like, act like a man. Like, go cry in the quiet alone and come back outside with your brave face. Show up to that job that you don't like until you can find one that you do and just deal with it like everybody else. Like, I don't know.
See, so
I'll
I
tell you one
understand
thing.
what you're saying. Wait, I understand what you're saying because I feel the same way. Like I feel bad for him, and I'm like, fuck that. When I'm going through my shit, I'm like Googling and checking my resources and calling my friends and what do you know about this and what can I do about that? So I'm like, I'm torn as well, where it's like, dude, like I hate to say man up, but man up, right? Because there's so many things that you can do before you get to that point where you're camming up and breaking down. There's so many resources. The internet is abundant. So I'm like, what made you cam up and cry? So I am torn because I don't want to beat up on anybody that's, one blade away from ending it all. But then I'm like, you guys are supposed to be the leaders of the community, the leaders of your family. I take pride in I'm the youngest of four siblings, and when all hell's breaking loose, I get the phone call like, yo, such and such, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where they at? What happened? You know what I mean? I take pride in that. And I'm a woman. So I'm like, how are you going to be a man and be that emotional and be comfortable being that emotional? But I want to ask this question. What say you guys about the fucking future? Because like Ruled by Venus said, all we see now is men spilling their emotions and gossiping like women used to in their hair salons back in the day. And they're talking about other women. So men are becoming more feminine while women are becoming more rigid. And again, all those things that men used to say and do to diminish women is no longer working. The new women of today, forget the whole modern woman shit. We are Teflon now. All that you bitch, you hoe, you slut. It's like water off a duck's back. And we are destroying these dudes in debates and arguments. So where's the future going to lead us to when the women are getting stronger and the men are becoming gossipy little bitches talking about weight and rating women, what you look like in your hair and your wig? Where the fuck are we headed?
We're headed to
We
more women for me. That's what that means. That's what that means to me. That it works in my favor. Why are y'all bashing this?
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
That's because they're gonna chase those women away, and they have to go in the direction of me. That's how it's gonna go. It works in my favor. All of this manosphere works in my benefit. I see a benefit. I see Haran's utopia, okay, of poly over here, okay. That's what I see. All
And
right.
why would women who are being turned off by men that are acting feminine, why would women run towards you, Tristan?
Have you not heard my jokes? My jokes alone. Listen, man. Listen. If you can laugh, I get a number. It's a guarantee. It's a guarantee. It has yet to fail. I said, but no, but in all seriousness, it's about producing, right? It's Jen. How many times have you like will inbox and there's a problem, and I'm like, all right, let's get it done,
Right.
right? That's how me like we don't operate like, oh my god, I talked to my therapist today and I was telling her blah blah blah. Like you like, no, there's a problem. All right, let's solve it. Let's throw whatever blah 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 on the wall to see what sticks, so on and so forth. I said, as much as people want to complain about the women, a woman is a woman. It
Look,
hasn't changed in centuries. So she's coming to you for an answer. And if you're gonna sit there and say, hey, you know what? I don't know, sweetheart. Let me talk to my therapist about whether I should go to the grocery store or not. It's not gonna really boom solve the problem. It's okay. Let me get my
I'll tell
ass
you
up.
one of the main problems. I'll tell you one of the main problems a lot of men are having, and I personally feel that we need to get back to basics with a lot of things. And
Don't give out the answer. Don't
one
give
of
them
the
the
things we need
answer.
to stop doing is stop
Don't give
getting
them
into
the answer.
arguments.
We're trying to help people, Tristan.
What?
One
Help
of the things
me.
one of the things we need to stop doing. We need to get make sure that men stop sitting here and getting into arguments with women. Like seriously, like what I mean. A lot of these guys are sitting here and they can't wait to win a debate with a woman. Like seriously. That's a completely different topic. Now, one of the main things that we need to really do, Jen, we grew up in the 80s and the 90s. Like men didn't have these kinds of problems. We didn't have these kinds of issues. One of the main reasons why we didn't have these kinds of issues is because men were bred to be competitive. Men were bred to be solid. You know what I mean? Men were bred to, to essentially handle the storm. And some of the things that a lot of these guys don't do anymore, they don't do anything that can really shape them, in terms of their character. A lot of them don't lift weights. They don't, they don't get involved in. If they do get involved in sports, they don't. They're not necessarily competitive. They're just happy to be on the fucking team. You know what I mean? They don't do things with the intention of conquering. We're not building conquerors. We're not building people who essentially are. We're not building soldiers. Essentially, that's the main problem. We're not building soldiers. Look, I tell people all the time, man, the way that I've lived my whole life when it comes to any kind of thing I get involved in, when I come into the door, I say, which one of you motherfuckers is coming in second? That is my mentality. That
Well,
has
let me
So,
always
so I'm
been
not the
my
only one.
mentality.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one
you know
that does
what?
that.
Glenn, really quickly, Glenn Lawrence says, he's our gender guy, right? Glenn Lawrence says, yes, men are becoming weaker, but also women are becoming more masculine. Weak men aren't sexy. Neither is masculine women. But let me tell you this, like I said earlier in my monologue, masculine women are doing better than feminine men.
That
Okay.
part
In
is
society,
true.
masculine women are faring a lot better than feminine men. Okay.
I
Feminine
mean,
men are getting left behind to fuck with each other, whether they're gay or not. They're being left
Ugh,
behind to fuck with
ugh.
each other and be with each other.
I,
Okay. So touche, Glenn. Miss
I,
Polly, how are you, doll?
I don't know what Glenn
Wait,
talking
Jen, I want to
about.
answer your question about the future.
Yes,
Hey
please.
guys.
Okay, I think hello, I think the future is happening right now. You know what I noticed? Because I used to, when I would try to sit through some of these manosphere chats, I had to realize a lot of the people in the comments are very young. Not all of them, because there are a lot of grown ass men too. But there's a lot of young guys currently right now soaking all of this up, and it's becoming their mentality. So I actually see the future getting worse. There everything that was positive about a relationship between a male and a female, a man and woman, which was just being nice, taking a girl on a date, paying for dinner, Now it has been like villainized, like, oh, you're a simp if you're even polite to a woman. Like they have made shit that was normal not normal. So they are really like brainwashing the younger generation to be complete assholes. And it's
You
all
think I can't fucking
What?
What?
Well, here we go.
I'm, I'm
Look,
about to say,
look, prime example, right? So anyway,
I,
they're
I, I
brainwashed.
think that was an accident, though. I don't think he meant it towards you. That's what
Yeah,
I'm,
it
I'm, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, well, you I already know how they be coming. It's ridiculous, but yeah, um, they're brainwashing the younger generation. And this is the sad part about it. It's done with ill intent. A lot of the people who speak these talking points and these rhetorics against women, this is all rooted from their personal grievances. So you're infecting the whole damn community because you're angry at somebody. Like that's really what it is.
Yep.
That's my benefit, though. Like I need that. Like yeah. Like I'm not seeing a lose
Christian, I'm gonna need
situation
you to
for
want
me.
people to want you because they want you, not because they have no choice. Okay, stop.
Listen, what? Listen. More options is more options. That has
I am
nothing to do with
the haven.
me. What does that got to do with me?
Tristan's like, I'm the haven. Come this way.
Listen. Like
Um,
I'll save you.
Cece
Like who?
said masculine women are miserable though. No the hell we ain't, honey. No the hell we ain't.
Listen. I don't know where they talking about these masculine
No.
women. You,
What? I
can
catch flights when I
speak?
want to.
Can I
I
speak
work
real
for
quick?
myself. I got my own car. Like
mm,
I'm making moves. Like I don't know what he's talking about. But
No.
okay.
Can I say something real
listen.
quick?
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Chevy.
Yeah, I mean, we got to look at the deeper root of it. It's not just about men being weak and women being weak. I honestly believe that the government loves to see the rift between hetero men and hetero women. And that's why they're pushing the agenda where they got women believing that they can do it on their own. And so, yeah, you running things and you in control, but you just satisfied with this man because now you got this weak feminine man. And he looking at you like, hey, I thought you was in control. And
Wait,
that
how is the
keeps,
government doing that?
what's that?
How is the government making women feel like they can do it on their own?
Yeah, I
How?
was
How?
wondering that too.
Yeah. I get like it's all in the media. They promote it. Like they're promoting the rift between man and woman. So it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, women think they want that dominance, but they really don't because when they go home to their man and they see that now he's taking on the role of a woman and he's weak and he can't do anything. He can't fix a car. He can't change a tire. He can't do nothing. You're gonna be dissatisfied with that. Women really don't. These feminists are out here telling these women that they should want to dominate and be the head of the household when they got it ass backwards. But that's for a reason because they want to control population. They don't want men and women procreating. You got to think about it. I ain't trying to go real deep. I'm gonna be brief. I put it to you like this: populations have doubled. Like populate people are making babies. So big businesses, you got stores like Kroger's, Walmart. They got to make all this food, and they got to make all these, and they at their wits end, all these resources for all these people on the earth. So what do? You control the population. You keep men and women fighting. You start promoting. No disrespect to this community, but you start promoting alternative lifestyles. You don't want to be with a man. You want to be with the same sex. You tell a man you don't want to be with a woman, you want to be with the same sex. Next thing you know, it's a rift going on. Nobody's procreating. Nobody's having
So
kids.
they made abortion illegal today. They made
Yeah,
abortion illegal today.
they just overturned Roe versus Wade, so they
They,
don't even want women getting abortions.
So
well,
I don't think they want to stop the population. That's not. I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
If you look at it, if you look at certain people that run this country, they always complain about, dang man, we got all these people here. They eating up all this food, taking all this resource. It costs money to build all these apartments and condos and mass produce all this food. They got GMO in it for all this population. It's all about population control. You know what I mean? What better way to calm down the population numbers than to have men and women going at it, telling the woman she don't need the man she don't, and that's what they're promoting out here. And now you got these dudes out here, they weak. I admit that they are weak. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
everybody's falling into that role.
Okay.
It's
Miss
it's
Polly.
it's backwards.
Okay. Thank you. I want to hear from Miss Polly. Miss Polly, what do you have to say?
Hi. No,
Hi.
I'm listening. Y'all know I have, I have little people, so I try to balance out the mic sometimes. But yeah, I think like when
It's
you're
real
trying to say the
though.
men are kind of getting weaker. I was trying to look before because I hopped on prior to getting some more information. So I kind of went back to the video, read through or watched through some of it. But yeah, like men and women, they're just, I think it's a transition phase. Like women are like, I think it kind of started from stemming from women being left maybe at a certain age and their mother's telling them, hey, you know what, you can do it on your own, you can start over, and is reinforcing that you can still be successful without a man. And now it's kind of maybe gone way further than we predicted, and so now we're saying women
But can
are
I say
putting
this
ourselves
though?
in positions
This
where
this
they're
can I say this though?
Well, let her
Neither
finish.
one.
Wait, let her finish because
No,
you spoke on.
I said I think they're in their mind. A lot of them, not everybody, but in their mind, they're saying we can do these things. And when you change that dynamic in a household like that, I think it kind of messes up because men, not every man, but a lot of men have been shown a certain way to be in a relationship. And if someone throws something at you that's
Mm.
off, there's not really a lot of men who communicate with each other until recently with how to handle women who are saying doing something different. And so where do you go? So you don't know what to do. So then you're kind of lost. I think there's like this miscommunication of what to do. What happens when your woman has all the things and you can't provide her anything that you deem important? You feel like you lose value. You're not valuable. If I don't have this much money, if I don't have this car, if I don't have this, I'm not valuable enough for her. I think that kind of messes with men and that kind of freaks them out. They don't know what to do. What do you do? Am I not good enough? If me just being me? And that's why I think the value system of what's important to a lot of women and what's important to men has kind of changed, and they're kind of just trying to figure out how to place themselves. I think that's what's kind of freaking them out. I don't necessarily think anyone's necessarily weaker. It's just we've decided
We
to do
can't
more
fall
as
into
women.
that. We can't fall into the narrative because they don't reverse the gender roles. We can't fall. They trying to switch it, and it's up to us not to fall into that. Like all that rhetoric about how women we doing it bigger than y'all and better than y'all. Like that ain't even true because here's the thing: you might got a good job, but you got that job off the strength of a job that a man created. This technology we using is all invented by
Well,
man.
like no
So ain't
one's.
no way.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think anyone's saying
What?
Yeah,
that a
that's not.
man made something that we are doing it. We don't really care. If we're making money, we make money. No one cares. As long as you're providing for yourself and be sufficient, that's fine. But it used to not be that way. Men were the ones providing for the women. And when you take that away from them, what is their purpose? You've taken the purpose that society has given them away.
Right,
So now what do they
right.
do?
Wait, hold on. So if we are benefiting off of something that men created, how are we passing you on something you created for you? How does that work?
Okay, I'll answer that. Okay,
Checkmate. Say
I'm a
what?
black male, so I didn't create these institutions. They did. So of course they're gonna let the
What?
woman. Of course they're gonna let the woman surpass me because me and her gonna be beefing at home because she out there working and I'm at home playing PlayStation all day. They know what they're doing.
Why are you
They
home
elect.
playing PlayStation all day? That's a
Wait,
personal choice.
what?
That's a personal choice. If she's choosing to go apply, she's choosing to go get skills, she's choosing to go get work experience, to go to interviews, right? And
Do
you're
you know
choosing
why?
to play
I'll tell you
PlayStation.
why. I'll
That's not
tell
the
you why.
government's fault. That is not the government's fault that you chose to play PlayStation.
Why?
What?
Why is that?
Right,
Why is that?
right. There's truth to that. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that is. Man, you try to be in our shoes and go on any one of these. I ain't saying, look, I had a father, he worked 30 years. I ain't gonna say where because I ain't gonna put my business out there. But he worked 30 years wherever he worked. Let's just say they own your ass, you know what I mean? they say things to you, try to get you to snap on them, to get you to want to, because they don't want us in there. They don't want us making no income. They want us at home on the PlayStation. So you gotta grit your teeth heavy.
What business do not want
Wait,
the
wait, wait, wait,
employees to
wait,
make
wait,
their
wait, wait,
money?
1 second. Wait 1 second. Wait,
Oh,
1 second. I just have to.
it's some men up in here. I'm glad y'all can testify to this. When you go on the
Nope, nope.
job,
No,
they
No,
your
I
wife.
No,
cannot.
wait,
No,
wait,
no,
wait,
hold
wait,
no,
up,
wait.
no,
Let
hold
me
up.
ask
no,
a question.
Wait a
no.
minute.
I just have to ask a question.
Okay,
I have to
y'all
ask a
brown
question.
nosing. Y'all brown
I
nosing
have to
up in
ask a
here.
question. I have to
Let's
ask
not
a
do that.
question.
Let's not do that.
No, Jen. Let me ask a question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sir, can I ask you a question? Are you employed, first of all?
Go ahead. What'd you say?
Are you employed?
Yeah, I am.
Are you gainfully employed?
Yeah, right now,
You
currently.
made the choice. You made the choice to be gainfully employed, correct?
Right,
You made the choice and the decision to get the necessary skills to be gainfully employed, correct?
right. Had to put up with a lot of
So
bull, but I grew my
okay,
right. Like
as we all have to deal with, correct? So in
right.
that context,
All I'm saying.
wait 1 second. In that context,
Wait,
if you were able to get up and do all these things and make a life for yourself, then it should not be impossible for any other man to do, what I mean, to do the same thing and be a solid contributor to his family and to society. Can we agree on that?
I totally agree. All I'm saying, I'm
Okay,
not
then.
excusing anybody. I'm not excusing anybody sitting on their behind and being lazy. You
Okay,
make kids, you should take care of them. I get that.
okay.
But what I'm saying is, I understand why some of them do because I've been in their shoes. I know what it's like to go on a job and they talk
But
down to
they
you
chose to
like
lose.
you.
They chose to lose, though. That makes them a loser. They chose to lose. They chose to let life defeat them. And in life, nature is going to come and get you if you choose to put in the towel. That's not your problem. It's not
Yeah,
my problem. That's not the
it
problem
ain't.
of any woman on this
It ain't
panel.
always. It ain't always. It ain't always they chose to lose. Sometimes they say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna
No,
be
you
my
always
own boss.
choose.
I'm
That's
gonna
what
hit the
that
block
is.
and do
Hold
No,
what
on,
that is the choice. Everybody has a
do what I
That's
choice,
the
got to
brother.
choice.
do."
hold on. Let me.
Everybody has a choice.
Yeah,
Everyone has a choice.
PlayStation all day is definitely a choice. I want to address what something CC said. Can we get some stats on how men have become weaker? Men of all races earn more than their women. No, black women are out educating and out earning black men. Am I right or am I wrong?
So we're not out earning them, but we are outperforming them in terms of opening businesses, in terms of
Okay.
entrepreneurship, in terms of college education.
Okay.
Well, the
So
Hey, I've
projection is
known chicks.
they're
I've
about
I've
to in a few
known
years.
women with. I've known women with college degrees that didn't even know when to take their car to get the oil change. So that educated thing right there, I'm
right.
Well,
kind of like,
Sir,
but but that doesn't make see this is
I'm
the
sir,
thing,
actually,
right?
I'm actually
The,
paying
sir, a
people
it
car
to
Hold
depends on
on.
it depends
was being
it depends
educated.
on what you educated about. You know what I mean? Like you can get the degree, but it don't mean that you know
Right.
how to be it don't mean you know how to be a good wife. It don't mean you know how to clean the house. It don't mean you know how to do some of the basic things. You can have
Yeah,
that degree all
right. But
day.
I said earlier, women don't give a damn about that because they're doing fine by themselves. They don't give a damn about cleaning your house and cooking your food anymore. That's the point of this
Oh,
topic.
come on now. Come on. They want to get married. Every woman on this panel want to get married. Don't lie to them now.
Woo!
Okay?
Hold on.
Every
Woo!
woman,
So you think a
every
woman
I'm
wants
woman
to
on
clean
this
the house because
panel
a
want
man
to get
plays PlayStation all day? You think a woman wants to cook and clean for a man who plays PlayStation
Well, what if he
all
ain't
day?
playing PlayStation? He might be on the block. Hold on, let me finish. He might be on the
Oh,
block making his income that way.
I wouldn't want to
I'm
clean for
not
him.
saying it's good. I'm not saying it's positive, but what I'm saying is they make it hard for brothers in the workplace. And I'm not saying don't go work, but what I'm saying is we got that extra deck stacked against us, man. And that's
Chevy,
the
you
way
be
it
crying
is.
in the car. You be crying in the car.
I'm
You be
not
crying
even
in
going
the
to
car.
dignify that with that. I'm not going to dignify that with that.
Okay,
No.
okay.
Wait, I have a legit question for him. So
Hold on.
okay, let's say you were on the block and you make your income that way, right? That's fair. Okay, you did what you
Right,
did. At what point do you
right.
turn that into a legitimate business so that you can provide for yourself and your family?
Well, I'm not a D boy, but let's
So
say I was.
yeah.
It comes a time where you save enough money and you need to wash that money legitimately. I totally agree. Totally
But
agree.
so my point is, even following your logic, right? There should be no excuse why a man can't like get himself together, right?
So Chevy, I'll speak for me. I'm on the panel. I don't want to get married. I'm not interested in getting married. I don't give a damn about a marriage. I don't give a damn about washing no
Well,
man's
why are you
dirty
trying to make
clothes.
them miserable? See,
I don't.
this is the thing. It be one woman that don't want to get married. She want to poison the rest of the bunch. She want to poison all the apples in the motherfucking basket and be like, "Oh, I don't want to get married, so y'all shouldn't get married neither."
This
No,
is
Yeah,
not
Wait,
yeah.
reality.
wait,
This
listen,
is not
wait, wait a
reality, is
All
it?
second.
right, all
It's
right.
so bad. Listen,
She thinks she's
what
slick,
wait, wait,
man. I
wait.
see what she's doing.
Wait,
Misery
I have
loves
a
I'm gonna have to
question.
company.
mute you. Dude, if you can't keep quiet, I'm gonna have to mute you. Okay, we can't listen if we're all talking at the same time. You can't
Go
keep
ahead.
moving goalposts. You said that the women on the panel all want to get married. I'm just correcting you and letting you know I do not. I am speaking for myself. Okay, I could very
I wasn't
easily
talking
say
about
no,
you though.
I'm just going to. I could very easily sit up here and say that you're up here trying to poison dudes to stay home and play PlayStation. That sounded crazy to me. But I want Glenn been wanting to get in here. So Glenn, what say you?
Okay. Wow, there's a lot to unfold here. Uh,
It sure,
Y'all
it
got
sure
Glenn.
is.
Y'all got Glenn
Ron,
confused.
I don't
Sure
know
is.
if they're ready for this. I really don't know, but I'm about to just drop a whole bunch of nuclear weapons right now. Here we go. First, PlayStation. You are playing the PlayStation out of choice. You could go get a job at McDonald's. So what? You don't like your manager telling you to make that double Whopper or the double Big Mac? Big Mac? Well, guess what?
How
That's a
much does
job.
that shit pay, man? How much does that pay? Is you gonna be able to
Glenn,
take care of
finish.
your family on McDonald's?
I'm
Hold
just
on.
gonna mute you since you don't listen to. I'm just gonna mute you. Let Glenn say what he has to say, and then you can speak. That's how we do it here. Okay.
Actually, the minimum wage for McDonald's is about $15 an hour. So you can make $15 an hour flipping burgers. Okay,
Is
that's
it?
yep.
Wait, what?
Oh
That's
yeah,
$15.
it done went up there.
It's $600 a week. That's $2,400 a month. Okay, so you can make a little bread for yourself. All right, and then guess what? If you work hard and you flip really good burgers and put the cheese on right, you can make yourself to be a manager. And then when you're a manager, you're making over 40 grand a month or 40 grand a year. Wow, guess what? That is called progression. That's called putting in the work and doing the damn job that you don't want to do to get the job that you want. All right. So moving forward from that point, the lovely lady in the pink to the bottom, she did say something that was profound, that they are that we have left men behind to a degree, that men don't know what to do because now women could earn. They once were the earners and they once were the providers, and now that there's no use for them. Yes, that's true. But men have to always become useful. They have to make themselves useful. Men have become weaker. Why? And
Yep.
here's the thing that women are not going to like. The men that we have in this society is the men that you created. You created weaker men by not letting them fight, by giving them participation trophies, because you
There
wanted
you
little
go.
Timmy to have a trophy like Billy, who won first place. You were crying about it, and now you want Timmy, your son, to feel just as special. Okay, so mothers, we have watered down what it takes and standards to be men, and we can't look any further than the household. All right. Oh well, Timmy deserves this trophy too because
Are
he.
you talking about white women? You're
I'm
talking about
talking.
white women, right?
I'm talking about the modern
No,
across the
no,
board.
no,
No,
no.
no,
Black
no,
women
no,
should.
no. You're talking about white women. I am
No,
Latina.
black
My whole
women. No,
family's
black
black and
women.
white. We ain't never heard no. We ain't never been like, I mean, I give Jose a participation trophy too. We don't play that
Well,
shit with our sons.
Okay.
That's
oh,
only
okay.
white
They,
women.
they, they will say white women. We'll just stick to white women. All right. Whatever you want to say, whatever the case is, not all. Get your sign out, but some.
No,
but,
Glenn, she
but we
chose
have.
violence.
But,
She chose violence, okay?
but you know what? We have definitely watered down what it takes to be a man because we've watered down the standard. All right. Society has. And then what we have done is masculize women, saying that you could do these things. Sure, they can. They definitely can. But what we have done is we have masculinized women in society and feminized men. And then we're bitching about men not being masculine enough. Well, because we have, as a society, emasculized them. We made them little bitches that they are. as a society.
Well, that's so you're
Well,
saying women did that, but don't the men run the sports? Men let them do that. Men let women come in and say, "We need participation trophies for Timmy."
yeah, because the coach wants to get laid afterwards. You think he's out there coaching these damn kids because he wants to? He's trying to get with them soccer moms. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, in society, we have definitely feminized men. All right, we expect boys and girls to learn the same way, and that's not true. Boys
Well, let
can
me
learn.
ask a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, and it's like a weird place we're in right now, like you said. But I think the whole idea was to get men to be more sensitive and more in tune with their feelings, and then for the other way to make women more, bring them up to be more stronger. And then now, since we're having this cross paths, or kind of like what we do, hopefully it evens out where we're just all just kind of having a lot more of the common ground, that we're all just being whole people, instead of just one of us only having some things and the other of us having the other thing. And now we can come together and be better. Maybe.
What it will take, because everybody wants to go back to the 1950s, and everybody's stupid to think that we're going to go back to the 1950s.
Wait. What do you mean everybody? Because women don't want to go back.
Well, I'm saying a lot of the guys in this space are
okay.
complaining that they want to go back to the 1950s where they have their wife barefoot and pregnant.
As a black man, I definitely don't want to go back to the 1950s. I just want to put that out there. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but a lot of black men do.
We got a lot of cardio in at that time, man. What do you mean? It was a lot of fun back then.
He's right.
Okay.
No, he's right. A lot of black men do want that.
But
yeah, they do.
A lot of
They
men
do.
want to go back to that time frame where it's like, oh, well, I'm the king of the household. Okay, yes, but see, that was inherited. Then. Now you have to earn it, men, and you always have had to earn it. But now you have to work harder.
They don't even want to pay for dates. Why would they want to go back to 1950 when men were paying all the bills? They don't even want to pay for dates.
Well, because again, you are talking about these feminine men. All right, we have a culture of vagina boys. Okay, that masquerade.
Once again, going to what I was saying, he's kind of on the page. Why am I
I don't play
unmuted?
video games. So what I'm trying to get at?
Nah,
is
I wasn't co-signing playing video games. I was just giving the example.
You're making an excuse for men to play video games, like, oh, because it's hard out there. Well, guess what?
What I said was listen. What I said was we're going into a job institution where they don't like us, they don't want us there, and they're gonna try every little thing they can to get us away from the bag. And what I was saying is I do understand why they do what they do, even though I don't condone it.
Well, if they do that, then they're weak.
Make your own lane.
If they allow that to happen, then they're weak.
You make your own lane.
It's easy to say that.
No, it's not
easy for somebody else that ain't in that position to say that.
No, but men do it. Men do that. Real men actually do that. Real men actually cut their own path. They find their way and they make it happen and they find a solution. That's a real men action.
It ain't a lot of real ones out here. It ain't a lot of real ones out here though.
That's not my problem.
I will admit that it ain't a lot of real men out here. I don't work with some of them. I say that I'm authentic.
Okay,
everybody says that they.
What does that mean? I want to know. Like, what do you tell me what it is?
Everybody likes to say that they real these days. So I don't like to say that I'm real. I just like to say that I begin and complete my missions. I do what I say.
So Chevy, correct me if I'm wrong, but you sound very defeatist to me. Like you literally thought by me saying
no.
Wait, let me finish. You have to know communication 101. Let me finish and then you can go uninterrupted. It sounds to me like you're defeatist, and here's why. Because first you say me not wanting to get married is going to influence everybody else. And then you say that people, I guess, in corporate America are convincing men to stay home and play PlayStation, and these men are adhering to it and they're staying home and play PlayStation. Why do you think people are so easily influence? It sounds very defeatist to me, where the men on the panel are like, no one's gonna fucking tell me what to do. No one's gonna convince me that I should be home playing PlayStation. Why do you think it's so easy to convince men to stay home and play PlayStation? Why do you think it's so easy for me to say a statement and all the women are gonna be like, oh, I don't want to get married either? It sounds defeatist. You can respond.
What I'm saying, because my words was twisted, I clear it up. What I was saying is I mean, it's mainly black men here tonight. So as black men, they don't want us in there making money anyways. They
Who
want
does it?
all the
Who
women in.
really?
They cool. They cool with. Let me finish. They cool with the women being up in there because then they're the breadwinners, and if they're the breadwinners, you got a mother-son dynamic in your relationship. Because this nigga's at home playing PlayStation all day. I didn't say I condone him doing that, but I'm saying when these guys go into these workplaces and they come in there and they put their best foot forward, and you got some supervisor on his ass talking down to him because he knows he's trying to get him to snap. This guy might have been from the street life and he wasn't taking guff from nobody, and he come in here, he got to readjust. And so they know we don't want these men up in here anyway. So we're gonna try to get them fired. We're gonna say this, or we're gonna say something racist to him, or we're gonna treat him like he's beneath us or whatever. That's what I was saying. I ain't saying bury your head in the sand and give up. It's over now. You got to do something out here. You got to do something. And
Well, I mean,
usually we
I
do
know you're saying that,
do
but
something,
that
whether
goes for
legal
women
or illegal.
too.
I mean,
That goes for women too. There's women who go to work and get sexually harassed all day, and they still stay at work, and that's not the reason why we don't go to work or we don't do it. People get taunted and all kinds of things. You can't.
right,
This
but
for
y'all
the men.
can go to
You can't take
HR.
away
Y'all
from
can go
men
to
either. Just because a
y'all
man
can
is
go to
okay, I would say just because your man is at home or he does something that doesn't make as much as you do not take away from him and his value as a person in your relationship because he's not in a place where you are. Everyone gets to a
but
place
they
at a
do.
different
That's what
time.
that's that but they do. That's what I'm talking about. Like if
Who
a
does?
woman
And
like
if they
the
do, they
myth,
shouldn't be with them. That's not a good
right?
relationship.
The myth is, oh, he insecure because I make more money than him. It don't be that. It be like if you making more money than me, you get the big ego and the big head, and I'm like, you that job you got, you could lose it too. Like say or do the wrong thing, you be unemployed too. So I mean, don't get the big head. Like you making more money, that's cool, but it's just a status symbol. It's just a job. You know what I mean? Jobs come and go.
Actually, but let me tell you something about just humans, Chevy. When a woman is making more than you, she is naturally going to feel more powerful. That's natural. That happens to everybody. If you walk in a room and you're a 7, 8 figure man, you're gonna feel more important than the 5 figure man. That's human nature. That is human nature. And when a woman makes more than a man, she feels like, well, no, I can pay more of the bills. I can take care of more of the things. So it's not about getting a bigger head. It is human nature because she is in a position of power over you if she has more money. That's just human nature. It's not about ego or it's like, oh, she could use her job tomorrow. That's just life. But why don't you meet her? Because that's what I'm talking about. Like women are getting stronger, men are getting weaker. Why would you just sit there with the woman that makes more money and not think, let me go make more money than her so she doesn't get an inflated ego? Why are you blaming her for making more money? Why don't you go out and make more money than her?
You know what I find funny, Jen, is that, statistically speaking, and I could pull up stats for you on this, but women that do end up making more money than their male partner tend to step out more. So a lot of guys do have a fear of that. Because it does, and it makes them feel emasculated. That they're not
because she has more options.
exactly.
That's what money does. That's what power does. It creates options.
And so for guys, and this is where I hate this conversation because guys are so pussified these days. It's like they're like women are supposed to have the vaginas, but for some reason these men are walking around like they got these big old vaginas, and it's just like, dude, stop. Look, the world doesn't give a shit about you. You have to make something of yourself as a man. You have to become. Women just are. Get that through your head. Women just are. Men have to prove their value and prove their worth.
Well, let me ask you
Chevy,
this:
let me
how
ask
many
you.
six-figure? Hold on. You can ask me after this. How many six-figure jobs you think they're out there for everybody? If all of us said, "Yo, we're gonna pull up our pants, we're gonna fly straight," you think there's gonna be six-figure jobs for everybody? And I got a second question. I mean, anybody can answer the first one if they want to. If a man is making more than a woman, should the woman rest comfortably in her femininity and submit like she's supposed to, or is she gonna buck that? Because I think it's gonna be a buck.
I'll answer those questions. First of all, just from an economic standpoint, it's mathematically impossible for 100, you know what I mean, for 6-figure jobs to be there for everybody. There's a reason why,
Right.
you know what I mean, it's at the top 10 percentile or 5 percentile and so on and so forth. So yeah, if a 6-figure job was there for everybody, then guess what? What is 6 figures? Now, a 50 grand a year job, that's attainable. A 40 grand a year job, that's attainable. But I'm gonna say this like this, Chevy. Let me ask you a question. For you know, what I mean, you're talking about these guys who aren't living up to expectations. What are you asking for them? Are you asking for grace for these guys? If so,
Nah,
why?
to be honest with you, it's a man woman problem. Why these guys are allowed to even have life and have a lifeline? Because these women are allowing these dudes to lay up comfortably. So, and I ain't trying to put the
So you
blame all on
think
the woman, but I'm
okay? So what do you
saying
think the
it
women should
goes
do?
back to
What do you
not
think
only
they
just
should do?
parents and how they raise.
What do you think the women should do?
Don't date him. If you know he ain't ambitious, don't date him. Don't date him. If you know he ain't ambitious, don't date him.
Sir,
Okay.
excuse
I ain't got no
me.
soft spot in my heart.
Sir, you don't sound ambitious, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you don't sound
What?
ambitious. Are you ambitious?
Well, I mean, you might sound like the police, but you might sound like the police, but it don't mean you the police though. We
Lord
could
forgive
sound all type of ways.
Sir, I'm just asking, are
There,
you, do
What?
you
there's women,
consider yourself
there's
ambitious?
there, there's
me.
women
Your
with
presence.
beautiful voices, but they 300 pounds and ugly. I mean,
That's
what it
true. But
sound
are
like
you
don't mean what it
ambitious?
is.
That's great. But are you
What are you doing?
ambitious, sir? That was the
In
question.
regards to what?
What
In regards
happened?
to
In
what?
life, like, are you ambitious? Like, what?
With what? A job?
With
Me
yourself.
working on my
With
car, me changing the oil. Like what? Am I
In terms
I'm
of your
really
career,
lost.
in terms of your career, do you want
me?
more out of life? Do you want do you want to make 8, 6, whatever figures? What do you want to do? Do you have a purpose? Do you have a purpose? Are you well within your purpose? Are you passionate about your goals in life?
And are you
Most
intentionally
definitely.
moving toward them?
Okay,
Most
so if you were
definitely.
if you were in this kind of if you were this kind of guy, common sense would tell you that, you know what I mean, the least amount of competition that you have to worry about is basically it basically works in your favor. So even having any kind of energy to even worry about those other guys, those other fucks that actually can't really get it together, that's really none of your business.
Okay,
Nor should
so
it be.
so you're asking me, you're asking now I'm you're asking me why worry about the other dudes because they ain't no
What?
competition. I should have like my fair choice of women because yeah, well here's the thing. Those dudes have no goals, no nothing. But what they do since they got all the free time in the world, they got enough time to work on their personality and they gift the gab. And that right there is what gets them through the door. And most women
Through
like
what
those type
door?
of dudes. I mean, I ain't crying. I ain't
Most
crying about it. I'm just being real. They if they don't have us, they have the talent, the knack, they got the personality and they gift the gab.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. So let me ask you a question. So what you're basically saying, are you saying like the
Go
guy
ahead.
who actually let me just be clear right here. Are you saying like let's say for instance a woman she's gainfully employed, she might be with a gainfully employed guy, but the dude who's sitting on his ass and playing PlayStation and working on his personality, she's liable to cheat on you know what I mean her dude with that guy? Is that
Yeah,
what you're saying?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
I
Uh,
want
Yes,
to
sir.
welcome Reese to
Yes.
the panel. How are you, Reese?
Y'all,
What's up, y'all?
Hi, Reese.
How you doing? What do you have to say about the topic?
Well, I just came back, so I missed a lot, but I saw the title.
Uh-huh. So let me, for everybody who's here late, because we got more people in the room, let me play the video really quick of what the subject is tonight. Are
You got
men get
video?
weaker as women get stronger? I'm using this video as an example.
Y'all, I've had a series of fucking panic attacks at fucking work today. Like, we are not supposed to live like this, y'all. Like, I'm on lunch and I don't want to go fucking back in, y'all. we shouldn't have to struggle so fucking hard and then struggle to operate, struggle to function as a person trying to make it. Like, what the fuck, y'all? And I don't have a solution. Like, I don't know.
Oh, wow.
That's what we're talking
We don't
about.
know what he's going through though. We don't know what that dude's
Hey,
going
listen.
through. You don't
We
go to
also
work with
don't need
that
to be
guy.
subjected to it. We also don't need to be
Gas is
subjected to it.
gas is high.
It's
Yes,
rough
it
Gas
out
is
is.
here,
high.
man.
Yeah, it
Listen,
sure
listen.
enough
Rent is
is.
high. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
We're
sure enough is.
Don't get me
paid a
wrong.
whole
Don't get
I
me
done
listen,
paid a
wrong.
whole
y'all.
bunch
He
of
should be
money
on
for
Let
a
me hear
bunch of
what
white
Reese gotta
people.
say, y'all. Let me hear what Reese gotta say.
We we live in the days where people vent and would just whip out their phone and just record it. It is what it is, and I get it.
I
It's
disagree
rough
with it.
out here. But I'm gonna tell you something. If you're not in a wheelchair, you ain't got no excuses. Cause every man knew by the time he was out of high school what this world was hitting for and what you had to do to get from A to B. And the bottom line is, like it or not, you have to hurt yourself bad, kinda, just to stay near the poverty line. You see what I mean? So as far as becoming high value and all of that, you have to go above and beyond, man, and literally work yourself to sickness and bad
Well, I
health.
think the
Damn,
question.
it is what it is, man. There's no getting around it. You got the rare few that will find a niche in life and make it big, fast, and easy. That's the rare thing. But for most of us, man, we're gonna have to get up when the sun comes up, go somewhere we don't want to go, do something we don't want to do for a long period of time, and do that every day for decades. That is what being a human being is all about, man. And all the complaints along the way, if you could bottle them all up and put them in one big trash bag and just get rid of that shit, you'll have a better life, man. There's no
Let me tell
and
you.
listen, in today's time, man, look, I was downtown yesterday and I saw help wanted signs every fucking where. If there's anybody alive in the United States that says they can't find a job, they are a fucking liar. All right? So if there's ever been a time in history to get the bullshit and put it to the side, it is right now. With everything going up every single day, there are dark days coming towards us. Dark, dark days. You haven't seen anything yet.
So let me
Funny.
to respond really quickly to Reese. I actually did a great interview of not one but two men who have no legs and are really conquering the fucking world. They have no legs. One was born that way. The other one had a really bad accident. So I agree. There are people out here with no limbs, no legs, can't see, can't hear, can't speak, all kinds of handicaps and disabilities, and they doing the damn thing. So there is no excuse. As far as the guy crying in the car, we don't know what he's going through, but he is an example of something that we're seeing more and more often. So I want to push back on this comment here because I understand. I gave a trigger warning in the beginning. Men are very sensitive nowadays. That's why I gave a trigger
Can I
warning.
say something though?
They come in. Wait a minute. They come in emotional. So Stefan is saying if stronger means complaining about men all the time, then yes, I have to challenge that because there is a plethora of channels in these spaces where it's nothing but men complaining about women over and over and over every single day. There are thousands of channels where all these guys are going over the same talking points: what a woman looks like, her weight, her hair, her nails, her titties, her ass, all day. She's hitting the wall. How old is she? She can't have no kids. And this is all day long. So we are seeing a growing pattern of men who are pussyfied and bitchified and acting like a bunch of chicks in a salon gossiping about women all
But do you know where that started?
Wait a minute. So when you couple that with guys are now camming up and crying about they don't like their job anymore, you have to understand that, hello, there's a wave coming where men are now too emotional. And that is the topic of today. You were saying, Chevy?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's rarely a forum, and I'm not excusing them on camera like acting like bitches. But there was rarely till this YouTube thing came, there was no forum for men to say anything. Women have been bashing men. I'm old enough to remember Ricky Lake, Jenny Jones. They was bashing us on national TV in front of the world for decades.
Same talking points. Ricky Lake, Jenny Jones. Men have been bashing and trashing women since they had
Hello,
fucking
hello.
babies.
I was trying to finish. I was trying to finish. I was trying to get to a point. Okay, but I was trying to say they've been doing that shit for years, and all it was backlash. It was the other side of the coin of that. I don't excuse it, but that's why people are getting on the internet and they bashing and bashing women because y'all were bashing us on TV for years and decades. So of course the pendulum's gonna swing the other way. And YouTube, anybody can get on there, but I don't agree with people getting online crying and all that old other stuff. And to the original question about whether he's men or feminine or are they women now? If he was a woman, he'd have a whole support system. He'd have everybody pat him on the back. He'd have relatives being a rock. Like women got that. Like even when y'all delusional, y'all can have somebody pat you on the back and tell you you're right when you're wrong. Like maybe he didn't have a father, maybe he didn't grow up with nobody to show him the way. So
I,
that's him venting online, and I don't agree with that. I don't like to see brothers on TV crying. I don't like to see brothers on the internet crying because you don't get no sympathy when a brother cries on a national platform. They laugh at him. That's all they gonna do.
I,
Look at that
I,
weak
I
ass dude.
I can't agree with
Like,
that because the pandemic started
I
and
know
men
you
had
can.
to sit home. So the physical job you had to do, there wasn't no remote work compared to every other race that you have to compete with can do. Everybody who had remote work was working remote and still getting paid. So when the pandemic stopped everything, wherever the black man was doing physically, he had to stop. That meant no income.
Not
And now
true.
you're complaining, oh, it's
I'm
not
in
true?
Tennessee. It's
Yeah?
jobs everywhere, all over this mug. I never stopped
Now.
working during the pandemic.
You
Even
sure?
now,
here's the funny thing is
I'm
that
positive.
there's a lot of
Is
work out.
anybody from Tennessee in the house? Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. It was
Y'all,
work
y'all,
all through this month.
you said
Look,
Tennessee. Y'all thought it was the flu. Don't do that.
look,
Don't do
there's
that.
There's work everywhere. Here's the problem. Nobody wants to work at an entry level job. Everybody feels like they're entitled to getting paid like a manager when they haven't managed shit. Okay, you have to start at the entry level job. You have to start as the bag boy. You got to start as the dishwasher and then move up. You got to start as the contractor grunt who's running around getting coffee for everybody. You have to start somewhere, but a lot of these men don't want to start at the bottom. They want to start at the top, like they think it's entitled to them. Okay, and that's a problem. All right, working is hard. It's not supposed to be easy. Your
Mm-mm.
income is supposed to be hard because you have to fucking earn it. You have to get off your ass and put in the work. And if guys are complaining about women being more successful than them, it's because women decided they didn't want to be at home and play PlayStation. Okay, they wanted to get up off their ass and they want to
So
make something of themselves.
Glenn, I agree. So let's give attention to this effeminate male. I love when when I'm talking about effeminate males and then the effeminate males come in. So here he is. He's spazzing like women do. I love the case studies when they show up. He's spazzing like a woman. Low IQ, fake alpha female. No empathy for goof troops like Jen. My girlfriend's an undergrad was smarter than Jen. Word, asterisk. I misspelled that. See, these are the men that I'm talking about. They come online and bitch like women. Jen, you look good, but you're a waste because your IQ doesn't match. Thank God there are
Well,
Latina women who know how to critically think. This is what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Effeminate
well, I
men.
mean, you do
Come
got the devil
online.
horns on your
They,
picture,
they
so
come
Wait, what?
online. They
What?
hold on. They come online and act like little man bitches. What masculine man? Going back to my father. What masculine man will go in a room and argue and bicker with a woman like a bitch? This is what I'm
Oh,
talking
damn.
about. This
Oh,
this is a case study right here. And it's funny because let me block this bitch real quick. It's funny because they come in at first acting like men. They present as male. They present as masculine, right? They come in and they try to get in the debate and they're like, okay, let me rebut that. Let me respond to that. And they start out very masculine. And then the triggers start going off. The more I speak, it's like, oh, I don't like that she said that. Oh, I don't like that she said that. And then I start emasculating them. And then they turn into full blown bitches who have to attack me personally, just like a bitch would do. This is how I would argue with a woman. Men do not like this. Men would say, yeah, okay, lady, whatever, and walk away. But man bitches in that era, because people say the manosphere is so small, it's not mainstream. Yet I always have some manosphere bitch in the chat. So how small is it when every time I came up, there's some manosphere bitch lurking in the chat?
But where
Like,
did
let's be
critically think come
real.
from though? Like,
Here's a
That's someone
here's a
wrote that.
this is a thing that a lot of these guys don't get. You complaining to women is not going to change women.
At all.
No.
What the fuck are you doing? Like, if you don't like the way she moves, then don't fucking move with her. Do your
I,
own thing.
I
Like,
think a lot of women. I think a lot of women, honestly, and I don't think we're really getting to the meat of the whole thing. I think a lot of women are resentful of men, and I'll tell you why I think that a lot of women are resentful of men. I think a lot of women are dealing with. I mean, it's a tough world for everyone right now. There's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of challenges going on. And I think that a lot of women do feel abandoned. I think they feel abandoned because that masculine energy that should be there is not there.
They're like
So
roaches. These motherfuckers are like roaches. Get
oh
off
damn,
my dick. Get off my
oh
dick. You know what
damn.
it is? That
I
my
knew
dick
that
is
was
bigger
coming.
than theirs.
You
My
sound like a Philly chick.
dick is bigger than theirs.
It got real.
No, she's
I'm
from
like,
the
get off
Bronx.
my dick. Like,
That's what these Philly chicks be
No,
saying.
no,
Hey,
it's
can
okay.
I ask a question real
he
quick?
is
get
right about
off
Hello.
one
my
thing.
dick. Like,
He is right about one
it's
thing.
embarrassing. Like, if I was a man,
She
I'd
done
be
muted
fucking
me.
embarrassed to be typing in a chat like a little bitch. Like, I would be embarrassed. As a man, I would feel embarrassed.
He's
Like,
right
get
about one
off
thing.
me. Like,
Not everybody is gonna win. That's fucking life. But while you're living this life, do whatever you fucking can to make sure you win. That's
get
the
the fuck
goal in
out
life.
of here.
That's what you
You
got
know,
to do as a
I
man.
will agree with that. Yeah. You know, I was gonna say 'cause, like I know everybody's saying it, but like I think our just value system is kind of screwed up. I mean, and that's everyone. I think that the new oncoming wave is like if you're not successful, then you're worthless. And it's like not everyone is meant to be successful. And I'm not trying to
right,
say I'm what I mean by successful is not everyone's meant to make so like 8 figures. You know, there are some people who are good at their jobs and their jobs don't make that much. They're good at their
Right.
jobs, like they're wonderful people, they're positive, and they're not going to do that. And if that's someone who matches with you, that's who you be with. You know, like the goal is like you have to be with a man that's this. You have to be a woman that's this. And if you don't meet that criteria, then you are failing. And there's a lot of people who don't fit that. And a lot of people who maybe don't even want to fit that. Maybe you're okay just, being a farmer and you might have a wife who wants to live on a farm with you. You guys are chill. You know what I'm saying? You're cool doing the job you do. You're cool being a manager at a restaurant. You're cool doing that. And people now society's saying, but that's not good enough. And all the people growing up are thinking that's not good enough. So, and you said instant gratification. If they don't come into a job and right off the bat make the money they think they deserve for whatever reason, they want to quit. It's like it's to me, it's like they do that in relationships, and now they're doing that and putting that on our children that are growing up, and even younger people who are growing up. This is what we're doing. If you're not doing this, you're not valuable, and I think that really hurts to everyone. I'm going to say men too, because I date kind of different as you guys. If you don't notice it, I do. And so I end up having is like one of the things that I do because I just feel I'm in a good place. I remove all that. I don't want our relationship to be based on money, all that stuff. I want it to be the real deal. So I'll remove that. Like if we want to go out, I might pay for it, may not. It just depends. And there's certain things I do depending on how they move because I want them to know I'm legit. I'm here for this situation. I'm not here for your money. I don't need that. But if I want you here with me, that's what I want. I want you here with me. Not need you here with me. Because all that conditional love is just, it can fade. My looks can fade. My money can fade. Everything can fade. So all this love and valuable stuff we putting on these people right now, that's conditional love. And that's what everybody wants is conditional love. Men lose money. Girls lose looks. This happens. So what are we really saying to society? That we only value things that are temporary. And I
I
don't like that.
I I agree with what you're
I
saying, but
agree
I
with
don't agree with people giving up on themselves and each other.
No,
You
yeah,
can you
I
can
don't think so. But I don't
you know
think
what I
if
mean?
you value that, like let's say there's a man who he wants to, he wants to go and be a manager of a restaurant. I say he wants to own 3 or 4 restaurants. And that's it. That's good enough for
Mm,
him. He doesn't want to do more because he just doesn't want to. He likes that. That's where he feels comfortable. So just
okay.
because he's not doing way more than that, does he unsuccessful?
Like that's what I'm saying. We can't.
Right.
Everybody's not meant to be a millionaire. No.
I
I
totally
agree.
agree. I totally agree. And I think that goes across the board. Like we hear
Yeah.
a lot of men, like automatically, if you have a vagina, well, you want to get married. You want to, no, that's every woman doesn't view success the same way.
Right.
Some people put a lot of emphasis on that ring. Like, unless you get that ring, and women even do it. Like women who are married act
Yep.
like they're better than single women. Like
Yep.
everybody doesn't want the same thing. Not every man on the planet wants to be a six-figure dude. Not every man on the planet wants to be a millionaire. But you're right. It's like once that was coined in these spaces, a six-figure man. I'm like, how many men are fucking making six figures? How
Right.
many men are making six figures in real life? So it's like not everybody wants the same thing. So it is stupid to paint with a broad brush. Yeah, we do it, and I got the
Yeah.
some not all, but everybody doesn't want the same thing. You can't put what you want or what you feel is success on somebody else. It is dumb. But that's the first thing out of somebody's mouth. Well, yeah,
Yep.
everybody want to get married. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't even know
Right.
everybody. It
I
doesn't
got a
make sense.
question, Jen. So where does a 52-year-old bartender rank that makes about probably 40,000 a year?
Here's what I would say, because in my opinion, the other phrase that gets thrown around a lot is high value man, right? In my
Mhm.
opinion, a high value man is a man that is valuable to his family and to his community. And in my opinion, you can call me crazy, but that doesn't have a tax bracket. If you are a responsible man, if you are a man that could be looked up to, if you are dedicated to your family, if you're dedicated to your wife, your children, your girlfriend, if you are a staple in your community, you do not have to make six figures. That to me is a high value man. Are you valuable where you are with what you have?
I'm valuable to Oprah.
Are you valuable where you are with what you have? Then you're a high value man, in my opinion. So if you're a bartender that makes 40K and you're valuable in your family and your community, then you are of high value. That's my opinion. But out here,
Well,
you got to make six figures and have a 6-inch thin. You got to have a sit. Well, so that's where you would rank. And Chevy is back. Chevy is in and out.
And
I
yeah,
never
like you
had a
said, like
woman
not
give me
everyone's
problems.
values are the same. Like some
I've
girls
never.
really value sex,
Hello?
some really value money.
Women
Hey,
value sex
if
more
you
than
don't
anything.
fit in, don't do that. There's
They
women who
value
really
sex
value
more than
sex.
anything.
Can I
I
ask a
don't think
question
so.
to
I
That's
Jen?
don't
more
think
than
every woman
that's
values
not
sex more
true.
than anything. I don't think
No,
that's true.
Nah, nah. Sex is number
No.
one. Period.
Why
Ask
would
a
you say
question to
that?
Jen real quick.
why do you
What?
say that?
Why
Because
would
I've
you
been
say
getting
that?
Can I ask
passed
a question
around
to
on
Jen
this
real
planet
quick?
for half a century. It's impossible for me to be wrong. It's impossible for me to be wrong. Half a century,
What?
I've
You
been getting
done
passed
walked right
around.
into that one. You
Wait,
walked right
wait,
into his trap.
No,
wait a
let
minute.
me
Watch
tell him
this.
why he's
Watch
wrong.
Who
He's
this.
wrong
passed
though. He's
you
wrong.
Watch. Wait a
around?
minute. Wait a minute. Watch this. I have already went to
Mm.
about 10 or 15 small neighborhoods,
Uh-huh.
conquered it, left a trail of destruction like a plague of locusts, and moved on to the next place. It's a fact. Once you slay, listen. When you go to a
Wait.
small town,
There's a
listen.
demon on the line. What the hell?
Yeah, what you
Once
been
you go to a
doing?
small town, and once you hit something right, the word gets
Uh-huh.
around. And next thing you
Okay.
know, there's 20 or 30 chicks in line. And they're going to do all types of bullshit. Wink at you, wave at you, drop their keys when they're walking down the street, beep
Okay.
at the light. And this is what's been happening for half
Okay.
a century. And the
But
They
why
shit
you
gon'
that,
keep
wait a
giving
minute,
out
wait a
they
your
minute. Now we're
gon'
talking
special
about,
shit to everybody?
listen,
Sorry, my customer. Why you giving out your special magic to everyone who winks at you?
because I think I live
when
on planet horror and I don't take anybody
No,
seriously.
you
I'm
gonna
with
be
Jen.
careful from
I'm with,
God.
I'm
You
with
gotta,
Jen
you
on
gotta
this one.
say no. You gotta say
No,
no, sir.
you
Wait,
crazy.
can
When
I?
they, no, no, no,
Wait,
listen,
wait,
listen,
wait,
listen.
wait, wait.
Mm.
That was
You're
a
Hey
still
problem
Jen.
back in
wrong
the day.
though.
But when they
You're
invented the
still wrong.
Magnum condom, that was the end of my problems right there. So it
You're
was
still
duck season
wrong
after that.
though. You're still wrong. Women like sex and they may
What
have
is
all slept
going
with
on?
you. However, that is not the number one thing we value. I'm a
No.
woman, you are not. You can't tell me what we value. That's not
I,
true.
yo, everywhere I go, I hit the king's wife. It be dudes that be millionaires, a boss here,
Oh
and
my
their
God.
wife will just throw themselves at me and do all kind and ask me to do all types of vile, crazy shit, which I ain't down with anyway. I don't know what the hell is wrong with these young women. Every last young woman I meet wants me
What
to do
kind
something utterly ridiculous out of a porn movie, and I ain't with the
Reese,
shit. And it's
Reese, you
all
need
of
to
them,
you
man.
take
I don't give
that.
a.
like give me an
Reese,
example?
Reese, you need
Yo,
to take that as racism.
She wants an example.
yo,
I don't want
I'm,
an
bar- I'm,
example of what
I'm bartending with a shorty a few days ago. She's only like
uh-huh.
26 years old. She got three.
39.
She telling me that she's into threesomes, toys. It don't matter if it's 2 guys, 2 girls. She wants me in the game. I said, I ain't with none of that shit. She says, that's what I'm about. If you can't do A, B, and C, then me and you can't. And I'm like, well, ain't nothing gonna happen between me and you, because I'm plain old Mr. Regular from the 1980s. Fuck that.
Is she a regular at the bar?
Oh,
Right.
shit.
Yeah, and I don't like doo-doo. I ain't going near no ass or nothing. Now, have I been going crazy on some pussy and bumped
Yeah,
into a butthole or a few? Of course I have. Who hasn't? Who hasn't? But am I going around gobbling up booty holes? Fuck no. But every girl I meet and I hear 10, 20 niggas standing on the corner
Where's the
bragging
Hennessy
about the
bottle,
shit,
please?
man,
the
this
Hennessy
planet
bottle?
is crazy as hell. And you gonna tell me women ain't, man, these women crazy.
Sir,
all they
thank
talk
you.
about
That
is
was the laugh I needed. Oh my God.
That's all, no, 'cause I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that rant, but I'm right. I'm right about what I'm saying.
No,
You're
I
not.
think that you made yourself into basically they think of you as disposable. You've made yourself a disposable man, so that's how they're gonna treat you. You made it so you're only valued as your dick. Sorry, just saying.
Yeah, she respects her husband, so she's not gonna ask him to do the bile thing. So she'll come ask you because she know
She's
you'll
gonna
do
make
it,
it
and she
you
can
do
send you on your way. Bye. She don't value
It is
you.
what it is.
My
Yeah.
conversation gets
This
me
took
in the
a
door.
whole left turn.
I still have the old school organic conversation. Everything today seems like it's a plan. That's why everybody's all fucked up. Back in the day, everything was organic. You fell in love with a little girl up the block or something, or your high school sweetheart, and that's how most of your parents met and your grandparents. I dare you to ask them. It was something organic. All this bullshit that's going on now, this might be a sign of the last days, and I ain't into the Bible and none of that. But
Wait,
God
you
damn,
never met
I mean,
anybody organic?
they didn't have smartphones back then. That don't count.
man,
You
phones,
you
nigga,
met
you had to go
anybody
out and
organic?
find your homies. Imagine not knowing where your homies at, and you gotta go look for them. You couldn't call no fucking body.
That's true.
I keep forgetting
But you
Tristan is
never
like
found anybody
12.
organic yet? You tell me you've never gone out, or even if you've been on, let's say, one of these things, and no one's ever come to you and said, hey, I saw you, I like what you were saying, I like how you think, I want to have a conversation with you. No one's done that? That's organic.
I'm gonna be true with you. I've had about 8 or 9 relationships go south that could have possibly been because of me moving around the world and stuff. So I came close a couple times, but
so situational issues, right?
yeah. I
Yeah,
was with
so
a girl
it
for
sounds
like a year and a half
you
before.
have some positive stuff, man. Don't throw it all away because you wanted to run around a little bit like a hoe. It's okay. And now you just find something positive and find someone who fits your needs. You be good. I feel it. I feel it's coming for you. You're gonna
I
change
could
your
do
mind.
this forever. I could do this forever.
Well,
I plan on being handsome a long, long time.
Don't be a
Man,
hoe
we don't
though.
negotiate with terrorists. He's gonna
Don't be
continue
a
to
hoe.
terrorize. Let him do
Just
it.
don't be
Now
a
I just had a
hoe.
question.
If I
I just
find
had one
Mrs. Right,
question.
like if
I
I
just had
walk,
one
look, if
question.
Jen comes up Haddon Avenue tomorrow, it's
Yeah.
over. Game over.
Oh,
Annalicia,
there you go.
game over.
You gonna
Game
be
over.
Leave me out.
Annalicia come down here from Canada. The black book is going in the garbage. You hear me?
Oh,
But this kind of
Lord.
shit don't happen to me. All right, so it is what it is. Until
right.
then, all right.
Reese, Chevy got a question. What was your question?
Yeah,
sir?
it was for you, Jen. Actually, it was 2. First I was wondering about your profile pic, like why you got the devil horns, and number 2, I was wondering. No, I'm serious. Number 2,
She's a drug dealer.
I was wondering. Wow. Are you?
Second question.
Nah, the other question was, who hurt you, child? Who hurt you? Who
Oh,
hurt you?
oh,
Jen is Melisandre from Game of
oh,
Thrones.
oh, he done. Where's the nuclear bomb shelter at?
Go watch Game of Thrones. That's
Did I get an
Melisandre.
answer back?
Oh,
Okay.
On the block
Did I
with
answer back?
Melisandre.
she about to
You
blow
never-
you.
This is
Everybody run.
just the Jen. Now
Here's the
I
thing.
really want to know
Run.
about the devil horns though. What's with the devil horns?
Here's the thing.
That's for you, Chevy. Stop it. I can't say it the way Nathaniel says it, but stop it.
Oh, the stop and stop.
Let me answer your question. The first question is I'm a big fan of Maleficent. Also, it's a joke because I am an atheist. So people think if you're an atheist, you're
Oh,
a demonic person. But I'm a big fan of Maleficent. Those are Maleficent horns. The second question you asked was who hurt me? What makes you think somebody hurt me?
because you went on that tangent.
Real quick. We just
Am I muted?
So no, you're not muted. So I didn't go. See, here's the thing, that man bitches, right? they like to do this in the chat. And then when a woman claps back, then it's who hurt you. Nobody hurt me. What you saw reciprocation. When a man gives me feminine energy, I give him my feminine energy. He came in like a
Right.
bitch, so I called him a bitch. But nobody hurt me. I give what I get. If you come up here acting, if you specifically,
Oh, I ain't even looking at.
acting like a man, bitch, I'm gonna treat you like a man, bitch. You come up here like a man, I'm gonna treat you like a man. So
He should have just kept his mouth shut. Look, Jen, there's
Oh,
been
my
a dozen
bad. I didn't
times
even look.
when
I didn't even. I
if
didn't
you
even.
can't
I didn't even.
handle it,
I didn't
Oh,
even
she
look in
got
the
him
chat to
stuttering.
see.
Uh-oh.
no this
I didn't
shit.
even look in the chat.
Let me chime
Okay,
in
so
here real
that's
quick.
well, I hope it's clear
My
for you.
bad. I
That's
didn't
what
even see the chat.
Let me chime in here real quick.
that's what was
All right.
going on. I treat everybody the
Right.
way they treat me. I'm very simple.
Let me just chime in here real quick about that last question. All right. First of all right, it destroys the argument. All right, there's no conversation when you bring in emotion into a logical argument. You just brought emotion into a logical argument. Who hurt you? That's an emotional response to a logical argument, meaning that you don't have the argument any further, so you try to appeal to emotion, and it doesn't
It was
work
a
in this.
joke, man. You going on a whole college lecture. It was a joke, man. Question number 2 is a joke, but I did want to know about question number 1.
They always say that when they in a corner.
But that's what females say all the time. Who hurt you?
It was
But
a
didn't
joke.
that tell you men are
Golly.
becoming more effeminate? That is something women say. Who hurt you, boo? That is, and men don't even realize how effeminate they're becoming.
most grown people been hurt once or twice, right?
It's scary.
Most people been hurt. What the hell?
Super chat break. AJ, thank you for the super chat. He said because this video is getting demonetized. This is what it's
I mean, we went from what? We went from cervix crushing to what else what we talking about?
Every man in here
Jobs.
pretending to be an alpha male. I don't believe it.
Women only like
Some of
it,
y'all,
like
some,
Brother,
some of
why
y'all
you
mopping their
projecting?
Hardee's.
None of them
ain't
Some of
said
nobody
that.
y'all
pretending
mopping their
nothing.
Hardee's somewhere.
Stop
Some of them front.
projecting. Stop projecting.
Brother. No.
Everybody in here
Let me
acting like they are
let me
alpha male.
talk to
Come
you.
on.
Let me talk to you.
Somebody over here
for a
mopping
second,
up
brother.
at Hardee's and shit and
Let me tell you
making
something, brother.
Amy
Let me explain
muffins. Don't
something to
even
you.
lie.
I'm just a bartender.
All right, tell me.
Brother, I don't know you. You don't know me. Nobody came on here with alpha male energy
Right.
or anything of that nature. I said who I am. Now, if you feel intimidated, if you have an issue, that's on you. I can't control that because men don't.
I'm
Men
scared,
control
man,
the
to death.
things.
I'm scared.
Men control the things that they can control. Okay, so maybe that's something you need to fix. What's going on in your corner?
Hey,
That's cool.
if you think I'm working at Hardee's, check out my IMDb, okay, baby boy? Because I ain't cooking nothing on no Hardee's.
Ain't nobody even worried about that. Honestly, though, I might go down to McDonald's and get that second job. Though they getting $15 an hour. Like I work remote. I can mess around and get me a little bit of more
Listen,
change. Look,
it's
listen, man.
$18 where I'm
Hold on,
at.
just
It's
let me
18
know
bucks.
which one, and I'll be there every day just
Listen,
to
man.
annoy the
Yo,
It's
shit out of you.
$18
We
where
be
I'm
there.
at.
We'll be.
McDonald's got 18.
Look, Tristan, we be there making apps and flipping burgers, baby. You know what I'm saying,
Exactly.
man? Like,
Exactly.
Hey, Haran, I will be in NYC shooting something on the 18th of July, so that my schedule changed.
exactly.
I just want men to go back to just being men.
No, I need more my way. What are you not getting out of my
I
way?
understand that philosophy. I want them to fuck up as much as possible. As much. I want 50 women to myself.
Oh,
That's what I
Lord.
want.
See,
No, you don't.
don't ruin my thesis here, Reese, okay?
I
It's
mean,
not
what
no.
if he wants 50 women? If he can handle it, it's fine.
No one can handle. A woman can't handle
See,
50 women.
Yeah, that is absolutely
Women
a
are a
joke.
lot. Women are a lot to deal with.
They
Yeah,
can't.
50
I'm a
is a bit
woman.
much.
women are not allowed to
Make
deal
your
with them.
number
Just start,
smaller.
when they
Chevy,
start talking.
are you an alpha or a beta?
I don't even use those terms because they overuse. I don't like to
Right.
use overused.
So why did you just
terms.
use it?
You
Played out.
introduced it to the conversation.
Yeah, why did you just use it?
I know why he did it.
Use, but you just used
Hold
it.
on. Hold on. Say that again, cause you broke up. Say it again.
I said that you said it's overused, but that's what you use to attack the men on the panel. That's kind of weird.
Oh, he was attacking us?
Yeah, I used
Yeah,
it
he was.
because everybody was walking around with their chest out like, oh, I got it all together. Ain't nobody got it all together. We all
Who
got
said that?
issues in some
Who
I
said
aspect
didn't.
or
that?
another.
I
What
didn't.
made
I'm
you
just a
Everybody
think
was
it?
bartender.
Because you
What
speak
made
English? Is
everybody
that
was
what it
talking.
is?
Wait, because this is so fucking interesting to me. What made you think? Because none of the men said I got it all together, and nobody knows what anybody's chest looks like here, right? So, what made you think
Right,
that these
I
men
know
right.
what
got it all
Haran's
together?
chest look
What
like.
made you think that? What made you think that?
Yo, she about to kill you. She
I didn't
about to
hear him.
kill
I didn't hear
you.
him.
No, he said he knows what Iran's
I
chest
can't
looks
hear
like.
it.
So, what made you
The
think that?
barbershop.
I'm curious.
The barbershop got to be quiet first so I can answer. What you say?
All
Okay.
right.
I said, what made you think, what gave you the impression that these men think they have it all together and they're walking around with their chest out? What made you think that? Because that was never said. So what made you think it?
It was the energy, really. It was just like, oh man, that dude over there, he crying in the car, and even though he is a bitch for crying in the car, I'm not gonna get on social media. The first thing I ain't gonna do is I'm sad. Let me cut on the phone. Like that's gonna be the last thing I do. He was wrong for that. I ain't even gonna front. But I mean, we don't know what that brother was going through, man. He may not.
Okay,
He
so
might have not have had.
so you said that the reason why you think they were acting like alpha males and had their chest puffed out is because they said that man in the car is a bitch, but you agree with them and say that man is a bitch. So which is it? Are you acting like an
Okay,
alpha
I
male now too?
Just say you want to be our friend. It's
He
okay.
fell on his sword,
Just
man.
like the membership
Where's
fee is
the money?
$50. Send it cash app Tristan Draper.
He
That's
just
it.
fell on his sword, my
That's
nigga.
all, man. Just send me the
Alpha-
cash app for the membership fee. That's
I
all.
can't even answer this shit, man. The guy went about it the wrong way. I say that he shouldn't have been
All right.
on IG crying like a hoe. So I didn't agree with that at all. But hey, I'm not gonna kick him while he's down either.
But you just did. You called him a hoe
And a bitch.
and a bitch. Like,
You
I mean,
just disrespected this whole man. Like,
It was kind of a sneak
Oh
diss a little bit,
man, it
right?
really was.
but
It
like,
really
okay,
You know,
like,
we
was.
all we all
But
we
sir,
all
you're
gonna say that. We
deflecting.
all
She
go.
asked you a
We
direct
all gonna.
question.
We all gonna say that on our breath, but we ain't gonna be like, "Hey, dog, you acting like a bitch." But you thinking it. I'm
no,
thinking
but
he
Haran,
acting like a bitch.
but
Haran,
You said
I
it
do
though. You
not
said
believe
it.
the word gainfully employed no longer applies.
look, look,
I,
look.
I,
I have ruled that
Here's the
out.
thing.
See,
uh,
see.
We need to kick
There
him.
he
He's
goes. He acting like he know
kick him,
me, saying I
kick him
ain't
while
employed.
he's down.
I
Everybody got
said
their chest out.
gainfully employed. I said gainfully.
Are
Every-
you
That's what I
Everybody
Chevy?
got
said.
their chest out.
I
All
believe
of
you're
us.
employed.
You said all of us?
I believe you got a job.
Everybody got their
But
chest
no,
out.
you saying you
That
can't
means
kick him.
all
So
of us,
you
right?
don't have
Everybody.
are you Chevy, are you intimidated by the men on the panel?
I'm intimidated by Haran's ankles,
Yeah.
brother.
I'm
Yo,
intimidated by
that's
Deathstroke nickname.
crazy. Yo, you know what, Reese? Yo, Reese is a walking sexual HR nightmare, yo. I can see the HR nightmare when Reese walks in. He clocks in, boom, he leaves 5 minutes later, sexual harassment. Oh my
Never
god.
happened. Never happened. And I've been sexually harassed on the job thousands of times. Imagine me
I'll be
telling
like,
somebody.
You know what?
Imagine me
please let's
telling them,
not
yeah,
go
some woman
into
was
this.
pinching me and shit. Yeah,
Please
right.
let's
Get out
not
of here.
go into this story.
Look,
Jesus
look, look.
Christ.
But what's funny is that he said you shouldn't kick a man while he's down. No, sometimes you need to get kicked in your ass while you're down to get the fuck up. Okay,
Exactly.
because we're not going to sit here and coddle you and pay poor you. If you want to fucking make changes in your life, then you have to get off your ass and do it. Stop
It
crying
has to
about it.
hurt.
Nobody's gonna fucking care when a man cries. Nobody fucking cares. All right. Women think it's disgusting. Men think it's disgusting. All right. So why you crying on social media? Yeah, you're gonna get clowned, and you should. All right. Fix your face. Go back in that job that you hate. Do your fucking job and make money. All right.
And that's what
So
it
you can
is,
be
man.
in a position to where you don't have to
That's
work for somebody.
that's what it is, man.
That's
Fuck.
That's what it
fair.
is.
I think that's fair.
That's right, man.
That's
And lift
fair.
some fucking weights, man. That's the problem with dudes, man. Like get some testosterone in you. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Like,
Like do some
just
push-ups, man. Do
man,
some
just punch.
push-ups.
No, just punch somebody in the face. That's what I do. When I get pissed off, I just start swinging, and what
Damn.
happens happens.
I'm not. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not
You know
saying
what?
a costume
Nah.
one.
like
I'm gonna
what
say. I'm
the
gonna say one more thing. The reason why I walk around with my chest out is because I bench over 400 pounds. Okay, so my shirts can't hold my
400 pounds?
He's
Women,
lying.
what the
He's
fuck?
lying. It's kinda in that area.
That's
He's
prison
lying.
shit,
It's
yo.
Give it,
405.
give or take if his form is a little off. I
Oh,
saw the
here we
video.
go.
His form
Here
is
we
a
I'm
go.
little
still
off
working
this
on
time.
275.
I'm still waiting
Jesus
for
Christ.
Ron's video. I'm still
Oh
waiting
yeah,
on
you
Ron's
will.
video.
You will, but I just needed to correct you on a couple of things. That's all.
Do you like big women or something?
No,
Yo,
I like to be the biggest thing in the room. You know why? Because I don't have to run from anybody when I'm the biggest motherfucker there. Everybody runs from me.
How tall are you?
6 foot.
I wouldn't run from you.
Oh, I bet you would.
What is happening? What is
you
happening?
know what? I'm tired of all this. Everybody,
I get it.
Jen,
Don't
are you
get it
wait, are
fucked
you
up. I
five? Are you
dance
five?
around.
Are you
This
I
is
dance
5'8"?
around like
the type
crazy.
of energy.
I just want to
Right?
That's the
know.
type of energy we need.
Are
Oh,
you
Glenn,
5'8" or
Glenn.
5'10"? Which one?
Who?
Who?
I'm asking.
I'm 6'3".
I'm 6
No,
foot.
not you.
Oh,
Who's
I'm
Chevy?
6 foot.
Who are you asking?
Deathstroke.
Yes.
I'm 6 foot.
I don't feel okay. I'll let it go.
I don't think she hasn't seen Glenn. Okay, that's right.
No,
Oh,
I
that
haven't.
was
I'm
funny. I thought
sorry.
she was
I'm
talking to
sorry,
us.
Glenn.
Yeah, when
No,
you
I'm
see
I
6
her,
was.
you be like, he's 6 foot.
6
I just
foot.
I'm
asked.
just saying,
I'm
July
asking
15th, we all just go to the gym and just solve all our issues right then and there. July 15th, I'll come in there and bench 375 and leave.
There
That's
Shit.
you
it.
go. There you go. Do it.
I'm just saying we can do this.
Hey,
All three
I
of
can
us.
get 1,200 pounds on my straight right hand. 1,200 pounds per square inch. That's enough to kill a horse.
If you don't sit down,
It's a fact.
But you
Reese, you're not killing no horse with your one
like
It's a
hand.
This
joke.
man
God
should write
damn.
the
movies.
sad thing is, like this bantering right here, what we're doing, we're talking shit. This is what's
That's male
missing.
shit. That's male
This
shit.
I
Exactly. That's exactly
I
what's
talk
missing.
to Ron almost daily.
And
I
we just go back and forth.
and we
We just
go
go
back
back and forth.
And
and you
you
know what it
realize
does?
what
It makes
man didn't speak
it
this whole
better.
time? I'm just saying.
It makes them better. Like
Oh
when he
shit.
Hey, what the
Man,
I'm
I
sorry.
wanted to let the I wanted to let the nerves in the room speak.
He would have scooted off with the woman while we were arguing.
Yep.
but
He'd
Sucker.
no,
have scooted off
Yep.
with all the women, and we'd been like, "Hey, where'd all the chicks go?"
but it's
Two
funny
hundred.
because like
I just
look,
rather
Two
sit
hundred.
back. I'd rather sit back and watch the
220
clown
pound
show.
nerd.
I ain't gonna
Yeah,
participate in the clown show. I'm gonna
200,
watch the clown
220
show.
pound
Oh,
nerd,
you got
homie.
a bird
220
chest, don't
pound
you?
nerd.
but here's the thing, like
I'm gonna
220
watch the
pound
I'm gonna watch
nerd.
the clown show from
You
up in
got
the
a
stands while
you
y'all
got
acting
a
Hold,
foolish.
hold on,
I
let Glenn
understand.
go.
bird
Let Glenn
chest.
go.
what I'm trying to say is like what me and Haran do, we banter, we challenge each other. We're
Of course.
sharpening each other up. Okay?
Of course.
Like, oh, you can't bench this? Okay, now he's making me prove that I could bench this. Now I'm bettering
Right.
my based off his doubt in me. And then the thing goes back and forth. Now I push him to get better than he is now. That's
Exactly.
missing in this men's space. All you hear is men crying from their vagina monologues about women, okay? And stop watching these soap operas and living these soap opera lives and go out there and fucking kill something. Go attack the world. The world needs to be attacked. And if you're sitting on the sidelines complaining about your damn PlayStation and are not attacking the world, then I'm sorry, you're not a man. You're a female with a penis, and that's called a transvestite.
This nigga over
Yeah,
here
this
talking
is
about killing
definitely
shit.
getting
Y'all,
demonetized
y'all,
now. It is
y'all, yeah,
official.
y'all going somewhere
Monetized
else with it.
shit. This
And
video was demonetized in the first half
no
hour.
one said they were an alpha male. No one said they were an alpha male. We don't do that over here.
Have you ever made a video that was monetized? Shit, with us on it.
Oh
I think
Lord.
the FAT video got basically it got flagged. And that's Glenn's fault. That's Glenn's fault.
It's always my fault. I don't live.
He's real passionate about that subject. He just kept going on and on about it.
Are you talking about my hat?
Exactly.
Hey, y'all want to hear a short story of how I went from 0 to 100 in like 60 days?
No.
0 to 100
No.
what?
I'm like from flat broke to like on my feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
60
Okay.
days.
Okay.
All right. Caught a case like 4 years ago, and thanks to Larry Krasner, great DA over here, I did. He bopped out of court backwards with $1 million bail. Next thing you know, I'm at the courtyard, the shipyard, living in my uncle's, my cousin's basement, and lost my house. So I get a job at the shipyard making $9 an hour. It's hell. It's cocoa bean bags that weigh more than gin. 10 hours a day, $9 an hour. I saved up as much money as I could and went to bartending school. It was $1,000. They let me pay while I go. So I was going to school and working at the same time. Now, I crammed the classes in. A 2-month course, I crammed it into 2 weeks. I went to school day and night, 6 days a week, so I could get it all over with. So in a month's time, I was out of the bartending school. The bartending school was a staffing agency, so they started sending me the jobs. Every job I went to, I gave my Instagram out and took pictures with the clients to turn my Instagram page into a resume, nonetheless, with all my event pictures with all my clients. So I started picking up personal clients that would hire me for their family events. This went on for, about 4 or 5 weeks. I got about 9 clients. Now I got my own business. In 60 days, I went from 0 to 100. My own business. Even though COVID destroyed it all my clients fired me because I ain't vaxxed. But it only took me 60 days to get to my own business. That's just one example. There's a million different ways that anybody could do that. Even if you're listening right now and you're destitute or you're not making any money, there's jobs everywhere. You could take on these little jobs that you don't want to have, and you only have to have it for a short period of time. You know what I mean? And then you can move on to something else real quickly. The object of the game is to not have any fun at all. If you cut out your fun, you wouldn't believe how much money you could save. And that's your habits. Like if you smoke or drink or go out and party or buy sneakers, whatever it may be. Cut it out for 60 days. 60 days is the program. And that's how I did it.
That's what's up. And I want to say,
Cue the motivational music. Let's go. I'm ready to do some push-ups. Let's go right now.
when I said kill something, I don't mean kill nobody. I mean go out there and kill your goals. Crush your fucking goals. Set some ridiculous goals and fucking crush them.
Reese, what did you do to get $1 million bail?
I had 2 marijuana grow houses and they got busted because I was dating a woman that was like an hour away. And I watered all my plants. I went to see her, but what happened was a hurricane hit Philadelphia while I was over her house for a couple of days. I didn't know that. The power went out on my block, so all the filters were down. So I had the whole block smelling like Gorilla Glue. I didn't know this because I'm in a whole nother state. I come back, police arrest me, and I'm in the newspaper and on the news and shit. I'm sitting in jail with $1 million bail. Larry Krasner wins the election and fires 65 people in the courthouse the next morning. And I walk out.
You're a street pharmacist.
Huh?
Oh, Jesus.
You were a street
pharmacist.
What do you mean? It sounds like an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
No, I was a topical medical provider.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. We all know how Ghost gets down. If everybody doesn't know who Ghost is,
he was an urban pharmaceutical engineer. He was an urban pharmaceutical engineer.
And then we have Reese here who was running Philly. I'm just saying 1 + 1 = 2. I'm not saying allegedly.
I went from 12 grand a month to $9 an hour overnight. I sold a Benz, a motorcycle, and I had nothing when I came out of jail. Nothing.
Just let me know where to go. I need some money.
I'll come to your state more likely and move where you are.
I'm getting some botanist. Gotta finish up my workout. So,
all right, guys, so I'm about to wrap it up. Real talk. I just threw the suicide hotline in the chat because I did say I didn't want to trigger anybody. I don't know how many people are watching or people that are watching that are depressed or stressed or whatever. You may have been triggered. Don't kill yourself. Call the suicide hotline. Holla at them. Okay. Don't kill yourself. You can always get better. Tomorrow's another day. Do some push-ups, read a book, go outside, jog, take a shower, beat off. Exactly. Don't kill yourself. Suicide hotline right there, 800-273-8255. Okay? All right, guys. I want to wrap. Let's really give some good advice going out. Are men getting weaker as women get stronger? What should men do versus getting in their car crying, camming up, and getting torn apart in the comments on social media? Because like Glenn said, no one gives a fuck if a man is crying.
You can build your life in private. You don't have to share everything with the world. You can He could have easily, had his council of men that he sits down with, and he has these kind of conversations he has with. Be proactive. Be Surround yourself with people who are about proactivity and not about reactivity. That's another problem that a lot of these guys are having. They're being trained to be reactive. They're not being conditioned to actually, you know, throw themselves in situations where they have to learn and understand how to survive and how to thrive and how to, yeah, sometimes you got to take L's on the chin, but you still come back and you still do what's necessary. You know what I mean? That's one of my favorite. I'll just say one thing. One of my favorite sport is. What do you think my favorite sport is, Jen?
Basketball.
Boxing.
Jen's
Hockey.
correct. Jen is correct. My favorite sport is boxing. Why do you think my favorite sport is boxing, Jen?
I don't know, because in talking to you, we got like similar personalities, and my favorite sport is boxing. Usually, people
So
that
now,
like this, our favorite sport is
right,
boxing.
right now, one of the main reasons why, my favorite sport is boxing is because no matter what your trainer tells you, number one, no matter what your trainer tells you, no matter what you did in the gym, no matter what happened, the moment you're in the ring, you're just in the ring by yourself. You don't have teammates, you don't have so on and so forth. You know what I mean? You might have a couple of people yelling some stuff from the other side, but you are in that situation yourself. And you have to make those decisions on the fly yourself. And you have to understand, what you can and can't do. That's life, man. Now people can sit there and they can tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do, how you should do some things. But at the end of the day, you have to understand how to take these things that you might have learned and apply those things to your life and better yourself. And I think I'm seeing less of that with a lot of men. They're not understanding how to apply effective ideas. And I personally don't feel that, I hate to beat up on them right now, but I don't feel Kevin Samuels supplied effective ideas that these men can actually use to better their lives. He created a lot of he created a lot of reactive bitch sessions and a lot of circle jerking. That's not going to change your life, man. Circle jerks are not going to change your life. And
Right.
and I'm done off that.
I want to ask you something before you finish. I agree
What's
with
up?
the whole Kevin Samuels thing, because I just think people keep saying he gave these men a space to vent. In my opinion, men have always fucking vented and talked about women's bodies and weight and all kinds of stuff. From when I was a very young girl, guys were always dragging women. So I don't know what they're talking about. This space, this safe haven that and Jenny Jones and Ricky Lake used to talk about men, and then Kevin Samuels gave them a space. I think it's fucking hogwash. I think it's nothing more than a bitch fest. But regarding women getting stronger, I feel like men are getting left behind. What advice do you have for men other than doing the circle jerks? What advice do you have, seeing as women are like, listen, I'm woman, hear me roar, I'm doing me. How can men catch up, you know, in a way that's not running out of the country and buying a prostitute for $20 and doing
I
bitch
have
fest?
a I have a friend of mine who's he's on a particular weight loss journey, and he was asking me some advice, and I told him one of the main things you have to understand when it comes to weight loss or whatever you want to do with your body physically, it'll be one of the hardest things that you'll ever do in your life. You know what I mean? Changing your body and changing your physique will always be one of the hardest things that you do in life. Why? Because your body is used to, operating in a particular fashion that made you look the particular way that you look right now. So, in order to actually fix that, you have to sit down with yourself and look at your own personal demons by yourself. I told him that I can't sit down and really, figure these things out with you. This is your personal space that you have to look into and say to yourself, okay, these are my own personal demons. This is what I got to fix. This is what I have to be honest with myself and actually tackle. Because a lot of these dudes, they're falling behind because they're not facing these demons. They're not doing the work, and no one can do the work for you. You can, I can hit you with some, jewels and knowledge and so on and so forth. But you got to get up and you got to do it, man. And these guys are not getting up and doing it, and they need to put themselves in situations where they're forced to do that. Men have to be forced to do things. You can't surround yourself with people who are going to coddle you. You can't surround yourself with people who are going to make excuses for you. And yes, in some ways, I do blame women for that. You can't be nice to these guys, man. You know what I mean? You got to be harder on your sons, harder on your brothers, harder on the men in your life. You know what I mean? Because men, if you condition them to behave in a manner where things are easy, they're going to atrophy. They're going to respond in that manner. Men respond to the whatever environment that they're in, and I'm hoping that I'm answering your question.
Yes, you did. Venus, por favor.
Yes, my love. The question, what was your question? I'm sorry.
That just to wrap up on the topic, are women getting stronger as men get weaker? And also, what advice would you have for men in a world where this is like Haran says all the time? It's the first generation where women really don't need men, and they're proving it. How can men, catch up, keep up, relate to women better? These new women.
Well, one thing that I came to, like a realization, I don't know how, because it was so simple, but once I came to it, it literally changed my life, changed my tax bracket, eventually changed all of my decisions. When I realized this one thing, no one is coming to save you. Period. So like once you really get that in your head, you really are your only option. I think a lot of the crying will go out of the window because I think part of the crying is like cry for help, cry for there is no help. Unfortunately. Like once you realize that and then you just focus, like get up off your ass, take control of your life, understand that it will not be easy. You will fall short, but you keep it moving. You don't sit down and just stay defeated. And so that would be my advice. Just like understand, because even the guy I wanted to say to him in all seriousness who kept coming up, I forgot his name.
Chevy.
But do you notice that every time you guys gave like a solution, he had another like that mentality is what keeps you not doing anything. Like you're always looking at the jar half full. They're like, "Oh, go get a job." Oh, but they don't want us to do this. Oh, but why don't you go to school? Oh, but this. Da, da, da. Like they before they even make an attempt to actually take an action to help themselves, they're already talking themselves out of it. Like it's a mentality that's crazy to me, but I see it in a lot of black people. I'm only saying that because that's who I'm around. I don't know, but I see that mentality a lot in black people. Like we have an excuse before we even make an attempt, and the shit has to stop, and that's why a lot of us don't get anywhere. And because we could talk to him in 3 years, and I hope not, but I know people like him, and in 3 years they will literally be saying the same thing.
Yep,
Like like
I have to agree with you. Like Chevy is somebody like I would never hang out with. I've had friends like that, and I've cut them off because everything is a negative. Like it doesn't matter what solution you have, they will find a way to tell you why that wouldn't work, or why it doesn't work, or why the man is going to stop you, or why the woman is going to stop. I can't deal with people like that. My advice to people is do not hang out with people like that. They are energy suckers. I mean, all much love and luck to him, whoever is tolerating him. I couldn't deal with somebody like that in my circle. They are a drain. I've had them and got rid of them. So good luck to that man.
and
Reese,
here's I'm
okay.
sorry, my last point was here's why I feel bad though, even though I know that doesn't do anything, but I do feel bad for people like that because I recognize that it's a learned behavior. Like I've seen older family members have that mentality. I think for a short while I had it until something, thank God, just snapped in my mind. Like, no, no, that's not the way. I think eventually I just got to be around people who were successful, maybe because they just happened to pass through my job or my school. I just happened to get around people who thought differently. And so thank God it started to change how I viewed things, but I do feel bad for those people. But that was my advice. Just like it's unfortunate, but once I realized no one's coming to save you, that was like the best thing for me. It hurt, but once I got over the hurt, then it was like, all right, so I got to really get my shit together, and so I did.
You have to tough love yourself. Reese, what do you say?
Well, it's unfortunate that sisters out here feeling like Arya Stark, but it is what it is, man. There are enough guys out here that are lagging and falling behind for it to be an issue. Vice versa, I don't want to talk about. That's what the show ain't about. Now, as far as the title goes, I mean, sometimes when you're in traffic in everyday life, it looks like the women are running circles around the men. And when I'm at work, at corporate events, the people in the one, there's more black men in the 1% than there are women. I think black women are running the middle class though. But I don't think none of that matters, man, because I think in the future here, in the near future, we're not going to be worried about gender or race or none of that. We're going to have situations where we're just going to be worried about survival. And when situations like that happen, man, the women and children come up short. So to the brothers, man, hey, go hard as you can, hurt yourself if you have to get on your feet, man, because you don't know what's coming in the days to come. And women, I advise the women to arm themselves. Every woman, go out and if you can, if you don't have like a conviction and nothing holding you back, go get your concealed carry permit, arm yourself, and stay more alert. Stop walking around in la land all the time. Femicide is the number. The femicide numbers in America are biblical right now. It's like nothing like this has ever happened in human history since like medieval times, religious wars and shit like that. This is serious. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm bringing this stuff up is because I think it's going to get a lot worse, like just in a couple months from now. So sisters, get out here and arm yourself, take care of yourself. There's going to be more things to worry about than relationships and bullshit and men. Everybody, prepare for the future. The red dragon is out of here, y'all.
Thank you, Reese. I have to agree with that. I'm an advocate for women arming themselves. I think men are going to get even more violent because they're feeling out of control. The last form of communication is always violence. And men are feeling like losers. They have these spaces now where they can vent and hate women more and more and more. And they're teaching the younger men to hate women more and more and more instead of being proactive. So women, you have to look out for yourselves, educate yourselves, arm yourselves, be alert, get your head out your fucking phone when you're walking by yourself and in the street. I've seen a lot of shit happen to people because their heads were buried in their phone. Arm yourselves, be alert, get your head out your phone. So Miss Polly, what say you?
Yes. Yeah. I kind of agree with some of the things. I'll say for the topic, definitely, I think that we, as a people, need to start focusing a little bit more on building ourselves up. I think that's why it kind of looks that way. And this kind of revolution with women is kind of throwing off the average male, and they don't know what to do. And so, I mean, my advice for someone who's feeling like, you know what, I used to be at the bare minimum, I was always better than a woman. Okay, I'm not saying everyone thought that, but the bare minimum as a man, I was always better than a woman. And now that's been taken from me. Now there are women who are right there with me. So I no longer am just a man, which is still making me better, and at least I'm not a woman. Now that's taken away. I think now if you're in that position where you're like, oh man, I don't know what my value is anymore because I can't provide those things that I think these women want, especially financially, especially, you know, if you're having that issue. And it's starting to mess with men in their mental state because there's not a lot of men don't really congregate and converse in women. And like you said, I've heard other people say have a lot more support. And males don't have that support for each other, especially when they get older. They don't have the support. You know, if you get upset or something like that, like you saw the man being upset, I think you should have those moments and be okay with those moments, but have those moments with someone. And it doesn't have to be a girlfriend or whatever, but those moments are special. And I don't mean it in a bad way. It's because you're vulnerable. And not everyone's nice to that. So putting it on display all the time, I don't think is necessary. You know, when you're upset, and maybe you get upset because, you know, things happen, we don't have to go on the camera and show everyone we're upset. Unless I'm trying to prove a point or have something in there. But other than that, it's a personal moment. Not everyone should see every side of you all the time. And I think that's what social media has just kind of killed it, where everyone has to see every part of your life. And it shouldn't be like that. And now I think men are trying to take that on. But I do like to see it sometimes a little bit, not like to this extent, but I kind of see that, yeah, men have emotions too, but they also, like you said, you got to push through that. You got to push through and be like, hey, because women do it too. We push through. We have children that have to feed and all that. At the end of the day, I got to do what I got to do. And we got to wipe those tears away and work and do what we got to do. And if you're a man, you have to do that too. And I'll be honest, you know, women, if you do have children, you'll have someone to say, hey, listen, you got to do this for these kids. No one cares. And you can be sad or whatever. We might help you with some assistance, but you got to figure it out. Men have sometimes the opportunity not to be able to have that. So that even gives you more of an opportunity to push forward and keep pressing forward and just work on yourself. That's my advice. Work on yourself and worry about who you are, where you want to be. This is the opportunity for you to do that. Like people are saying, there's jobs everywhere. And if you can't find one, especially if you're a single male, go to another state, find something, work yourself up. There's so many opportunities now that you weren't given because everyone's quitting a lot of things. You should be able to get in somewhere and start working up. And take those opportunities to just work on yourself. Stop focusing on things that aren't really meant for you to focus on. If it's not a woman, you're worried about a woman, but you don't got a job where you can supply her with a family, these things that she may want. Don't worry about that. Worry about you and what you need to do. I think you just need to really focus on yourself, find someone to talk to, and really work on building yourself up. I think that's my advice for this.
Yeah.
Really.
Thank you, Miss Polly. I agree with that too. Long as you're breathing, you're alive, you can always improve your situation for sure. But you got to be here.
That's right.
Tristan, take us out.
Okay, because this is over 2.5 hours, I'll be fast.
I was supposed to go 2 hours, and look what had happened because Chevy came in and pulled us all different directions. I don't know
I,
what the
I,
hell that was on.
I mean, you half black, so you went over half the time, so it happens.
Almost CP time.
Exactly, that's it. After 10 p.m., your colored side comes out. But in all in all seriousness, to the men, go touch some damn grass. Go outside. All right, it is what it is at this point. Just go touch some grass and just relax. So, to worry about yourself, focus on yourself. Everything falls in place later.
I love that. Go touch some grass.
I love you all. Class dismissed.
All right, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Hit that
Good
like
night.
and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out. And the notification bell is very important or you won't know when I'm live. Thank you, everybody, for participating tonight. I have a good time when the chat participates. Thank goodness the ladies came up tonight so we could have a nice balance on the panel. I love when the ladies come up. Thank you for all the jokes in the chat. Apologies for the assholes that interrupted, but I got rid of them and blocked them every now and then. We're going to get some weeds in the grass that we should be touching, like Tristan said. All right, guys, be safe. Love on yourself, self-preservation first, so you can't help anybody else, okay? I did, if you're feeling depressed, really stressed out, it's getting to you, life's getting to you, call the suicide hotline. And it sounds corny, but they really can help you. That's what they're there for, 24 hours a day. Again, the number is 800-273-8255, okay? If you're catching this later, you're a new sub, welcome and thank you. And I will catch you on the next one, On The Block with Jen on Instagram, On The Block with Jen at Gmail for ideas, On The Block with Jen on Facebook, and On The Block with Jen here. Buenas noches, Angel. All right, guys. Good night.